Chapter 1000. Fang Ping! A sharp scream rang out. Li Hansong shook his head frantically and roared. I didn't tell you to lure these guys. We came to find you because we wanted to make you stronger and kill one or two true gods. I didn't ask you to lure over 100 experts to chase after you. He was terrified. Behind them, the auras that pierced through the heavens and the earth shook the entire capital city catacombs. In just a short while, the ordinary people in the catacombs were probably all dead. These experts were not interested in restraining their auras. At a time of war, who would care about those ordinary catacombs people? As these people entered the capital city catacombs, it could be said that this day was directly annihilated. Too many. One or two of them might not be able to destroy the capital city catacombs or destroy an entire outer domain, but now, there were more than one or two of them. Fang Ping scolded loudly. Nonsense! You brought a divine weapon here. How can you not be tempting? You should have considered this when you made your move, yet you're still making sarcastic remarks now. Do you believe that I won't move your head behind your back and let you shout all you want? 4 divine weapons! Just this alone was enough to drive those emperor-ranked experts crazy. Fang Ping was holding a god-slaying saber. Many people were staring at him. Now, the long-range divine weapon, the god of war Bao, the spiritual divine weapon, the god-destroying spear, and the defensive divine weapon, the dark armor, not to mention the close combat divine weapon, the god-slaying saber. If an overlord ranker were to obtain it, their strength would instantly skyrocket. At that moment, a rumbling sound came from Fang Ping's back. Fang Ping spat out a mouthful of blood, feeling as if his entire body was about to explode. An overlord was attacking him. Although he had the protection of the divine armor, he still couldn't hold on. Fang Ping yelled in fear. You can't kill me! If I die, there will be no news of the prince, and the 4 emperors will lose their battle techniques. They can capture me alive! At this moment, the entire world fell silent. He had never heard of such a request when being hunted. But when he thought about it, it did make sense. At this moment, Moon's spirit also roared. Who dares to kill him? If he killed Fang Ping, where would he find his remains? Just like Zhang Tao, who knew if Fang Ping had kept the remains in his storage ring. Even if he did, who knew if it would be destroyed in the end? At this moment, the several venerable sovereigns who were chasing him in the front restrained themselves a little. Capturing this brat alive was enough. The difference between killing and capturing an emperor-level being was not great. The attacks from the back weakened slightly, giving Fang Ping a chance to catch his breath. However, in the next moment, Fang Ping could no longer remain calm. The enemy was getting closer and closer. These emperor-class experts directly tore through space and chased after him. One step was 1,000 miles. Of course, not every emperor-ranked could accurately control it, especially over short distances, as it was more likely to have deviations. After a few deviations, Fang Ping managed to escape from their clutches. However, these people gradually surrounded Fang Ping. In front of him, there were even Emperor Venerable Realm Masters who had opened up a passage and were waiting for him to walk into their trap. Fang Ping's face was full of helplessness. With such a huge gap in strength, it was hard to escape. What else could he do now? I can't go on like this. I'll be caught sooner or later. I'm afraid I won't be able to run to the Forbidden Sea, Li Hansong quickly said. Dig a hole and run. They don't dare to be too ruthless. What if they beat you to death? Don't block it. Dig a hole. Fang Ping almost cursed out loud. I have peak-level strength now, and you want me to dig a hole? I dug a hole from rank 3 to rank 7 or 8. It's not easy for me to stop digging now, and you want me to continue digging now? It's useless. There are almost no obstacles on the ground for them. Didn't you restrain your aura? Li Hansong was anxious. There were people in front. Dig a hole quickly. Fang Ping was also anxious. In the next moment, he fell directly to the ground, roaring. Don't attack randomly, or I'll be killed and there'll be nothing left. As soon as he finished speaking, Fang Ping dove into the ground in the blink of an eye. With his current strength, even if it was steel in front of him, it would be easily melted and shattered. Fan Ping disappeared into the ground, no longer breathing. The few Emperor Venerable Realm Masters frowned slightly, then shook their heads one after another. At this moment, one of the Emperor Venerable Realm Masters laughed and said, "Isn't Fan Ping looking down on us too much? I'm afraid even neo-martial artists don't have this kind of insight." At this moment, one of the Emperor Venerable Realm Masters laughed, then let out a low roar and slammed his palm down. The ground within a radius of more than 10 li collapsed directly in an instant, the soil disappearing without a trace. On the other side, one of the Emperor Venerable Realm Masters stomped his foot lightly. The collapsed ground immediately shook continuously. Bang, bang, bang. A large number of hard objects were squeezed out. At the same time, Fan Ping was also covered in dust, directly squeezed out by the compressed ground. Fan Ping scolded the head on his arm. "You said to dig a hole, and I did? What about now?" These Emperor Venerable Realm Masters were indeed not comparable to his previous enemies. If he attacked casually, digging a hole would become a joke. Before these people landed on the ground, Fan Ping was squeezed out. He had no choice but to come out. The surrounding soil vibrated like ultrasound. If he did not come out, it would be even more abnormal, and he would be discovered instantly. Li Hansong was speechless now. He smiled bitterly and said, "Then just wait to be caught." He could not escape. His ability to attract monsters was strong, but Fan Ping could not escape. There was no other way. No matter how fast they were still less than 100 li away from Mount Imperial Sea. They were still close to a boundary of 2,000 li away from the Forbidden Sea. Not 2,000 li, at most 100 li, and Fan Ping would be surrounded by hundreds of powerhouses in the center like a monkey. Fan Ping was not the only one in danger. It was the same on Zhang Tao's side. Fan Ping only lured away those powerhouses who were not sure if they wanted to fight with humans or not. Those who should have attacked had attacked, but these people did not leave. At this moment, Zhang Tao was fighting 1 against 3. He was at a disadvantage, but the danger was not too great. The humans, however, could not hold on any longer. Even with the betrayal of King Hua and the others, in addition to the original 50 over desperation realms, there were close to 60 powerhouses. However, at this moment, there were only about 40 people left. More and more powerhouses were dying. Of course, the catacombs side suffered even more losses. There were barely 100 people, maybe not even. More than 180 catacombs powerhouses, many had died. Some of them had defected to the humans, more than 10 had defected to the 2 kings, and a few had defected to Li Zhu. In other words, there were less than 120 who had survived. The rest, almost all of them, were dead. About 60 true kings had died in battle. The humans had also paid an extremely heavy price. There were even 6 near-emperor powerhouses who had died. This was after Moon's spirit, and the rest had killed many. Zhang Tao had killed many earlier, and Fan Ping had plotted against many. In fact, many human powerhouses were not able to kill people at all. 1 against 2, or even 1 against 3, they were already strong enough not to be killed. Killing people was not that simple. At this moment, someone shouted, "Zhang Tao, let's go! Take the gate of all beings and leave. They can't stop you. We'll fight them to the death." If Zhang Tao did not participate in the team battle, he could still survive by himself and escape to the Forbidden Ocean. As for the cat's trap, after Zhang Tao escaped and they had all died in battle, it might be effective when activated. As for whether it could trap these people or not, it would all depend on luck. Zhang Tao did not speak. Escape? If he left these people behind, even if he trapped those powerhouses, what could he do? Sooner or later, they would break through the stronghold and walk out. When that time came, could the humans rely on a few people to resist the future crisis? Therefore, he could not give up on these people. Some of them dying in battle had already caused great damage to the vitality of the humans. If they were all dead, could he fight all the enemies alone? At this moment, Unquestionable Jian said calmly, Zhang Tao, hand over the ice coffin. I promise you, I'll help you take a few people away and leave some last seeds for the humans. He had this confidence. At this moment, fighting 6 venerable emperors alone was quite easy for him. However, even if he blocked 6 of them, the humans would still be completely defeated. It was up to Zhang Tao to decide whether he would block the enemies or take a few people away. So what if he blocked 6 venerable emperors? Could Zhang Tao turn the tables around? Zhang Tao ignored him. Looking at Li Zhu, he suddenly said, Can your tree of life still bear fruits of life? Or do you have any other way to bring the dead back to life? Li Zhu, why don't you give one to the demon emperor? Maybe he can bring his wife back to life. Li Zhu smiled, but did not speak. Unquestionable Jian also said indifferently, What else do you want now? The fruit of life from the tree of life can bring people back to life, but it doesn't work on completely dead people. Even if there's only a trace of their consciousness left, they might be able to come back to life. He did not finish his words. But his wife didn't even have a trace of her consciousness left. Even his physical body was something that he had gathered with all his strength back then. How could she come back to life without a trace of her life? I see. Zhang Tao let out a sigh. Looking at the 3 venerable emperors he was fighting against, he said, Do you have to do this? There is no deep hatred between human beings and the other domains. The other domains all chose to help the humans this time. Why do you have to hit us when we are down? The 3 venerable emperors had stopped him. Otherwise, he might have been able to break out of the encirclement with the others. The Luofu Mountain, the Void Mausoleum Cave Heaven, and the Huatong Mountain. Of these 3 domains, besides the Yang family ancestor who had died, the other 2 had descendants on the human side. The Luofu Mountain's venerable emperor said slowly, I don't want to be your enemy. Give me the gate of all life, and I will leave now. Zhang Tao said with a smile. Really? He did not believe it. If it was really for the gate of all life, this venerable emperor would have told him before he attacked. Their goal was straightforward. They wanted to kill these human experts. Because according to the legend, the gate of all life was just a gate without a key. The key was the humans. If they did not kill Zhang Tao and the others, even if they got the gate, they would not be able to open it. After killing them, the gate of all life would still belong to them. At this moment, the Battle King was fighting 1 against 4, and he was constantly being beaten back. Although he had the strength close to the Emperor realm, it was not his Tao. After fighting so many times, he was not as strong as he wanted. Seeing that Zhang Tao was still talking, he immediately scolded. Do you have any backup plan? If not, I will explode myself now. I can at least kill a few of you. Otherwise, I won't be able to explode anymore. As soon as he said this, the 4 real kings quickly restrained themselves. The Battle King looked at him with disdain. Cowardly as a mouse. I was just saying. Why would you explode yourself if you were not desperate? It would be a loss if you couldn't kill them. Backup plan? Zhang Tao said softly. Yes. The Fate King sneered. As soon as he finished, Unquestionable Jian slashed his head again and said indifferently, I hate this kind of smile. I don't want to kill you, but it doesn't mean I can't. He didn't want to kill them. He just didn't want to kill these people in the situation of fighting 1 against 6. Why not? This was something that no one knew. Unquestionable Jian was indeed powerful, so powerful that it was a little frightening. The Fate King's head recovered. He was a little pale, but he didn't laugh this time. He had used up a lot of his energy. If he was seriously injured by Unquestionable Jian a few more times, his rank might drop. The Fate King stopped laughing, but Zhang Tao did. I didn't expect this. Although it was selfish, it was still useful. Now that I've used it, I can only rely on you guys. As soon as he said this, in the air, Li Zhu suddenly led the powerhouses under his command away from the battlefield. Unquestionable Jian also raised his eyebrows. He quickly and forcibly moved the 6 venerable emperors away from the battlefield. At this moment, Zhang Tao laughed loudly. Why did you force me to do this? Why did you have to do this? As soon as he said this, an unexpected scene happened. At this moment, almost 30 silhouettes suddenly appeared around Zhang Tao. They were all Zhang Tao. These silhouettes were all golden, just like Fan Ping's previous clones. They were made of imperishable matter. Zhang Tao did not share much of the 500,000 yuan worth of imperishable matter. He kept it for himself. The moment these clones appeared, they were listless at first. However, in the next moment, their auras suddenly skyrocketed, their gazes turning cold and fierce. Zhang Tao's aura, however, declined sharply. Almost in the blink of an eye, his mentality was so weak that it was almost extinguished. Damn, kid, humans are going to rise! Zhang Tao murmured. If humans don't rise, I'm going to die. Even if he went into a trap this time, he hoped that Warlord and the others could help him escape and hold on until he recovered, let alone kill them. Otherwise, he would die sooner or later. As soon as he said this, almost 30 clones flew in all directions almost instantly. In the blink of an eye, they landed in front of some people. Then, there was an earth-shattering roar. Rumble! Heaven and earth were overturned. At this moment, Mount Royal Sea, which had stood for thousands of years not far away, was on the verge of collapse. With a rumble, it collapsed thousands of meters in an instant. Ah! There were endless screams from the catacombs and humans. At this moment, the 3 venerable emperors were also facing the self-destruction of many clones. Rumble! Heaven and earth turned into nothingness. Zhang Tao, an expert whose mentality was close to the Heavenly King level, detonated 99% of his mentality and a large amount of imperishable matter, causing an earth-shattering explosion. At the same time, Zhang Tao's body cracked, and he quickly attacked one person. The weakest venerable emperor. The master of the Void Mausoleum Cave, who ranked the lowest among the 3 venerable emperors. You also want to get involved. You killed your apprentice, but I think it's your family's business. I don't want to say anything. No matter how bad the Yang clan's old ancestor is, he is on the human side. Only we humans are qualified to kill him. Who do you think you are? The master of the Void Mausoleum Cave was killing humans. Not only was Venerable Sovereign attacking, but his disciples were also besieging and killing humans in the King battlefield. Don't you know you're very weak? Zhang Tao's voice was playful. In the shocked eyes of the other party, Zhang Tao had almost no mentality at this moment, but he still had his physical strength. With a roar, he used all his strength to suddenly grab the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave, who was flying backward. I'll tear you apart! Roar! An inhuman roar came out of his mouth. At this moment, Zhang Tao looked extremely ferocious. Among the 3 venerable emperors, the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave was the weakest. He had planned to use it to deal with Life Kings, but these 3 guys actually attacked humans. They were looking for a weak opponent. At this moment, he felt it was not worth it if he didn't kill a venerable emperor. Kill first, kill the one who is the most confident. Zhang Tao grabbed the venerable emperor with both hands. As the venerable emperor crazily bombarded his body, Zhang Tao roared and directly tore the venerable emperor in half. The venerable emperor was not dead yet. His golden body was broken, but it was not enough to kill him. Seeing his aura drop again, the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave saw hope. He also saw the return of the other 2. But at this moment, Zhang Tao suddenly opened his mouth like a real demon, and his mouth became extremely huge. I'll swallow you, and then we'll fight. Die! Zhang Tao's mouth was extremely huge, and he directly swallowed the venerable emperor. Then he turned around and looked at those shocked experts. His voice came from his stomach. Let's work together to open a passage, go! The void had already collapsed, and this was the best time to open a passage. On the catacombs side, 2 or 3 real kings had just been killed by the clone's self-explosion, and the others were also seriously injured. At this moment, human experts no longer cared about Zhang Tao's brutality. They all roared and bombarded the void. In the blink of an eye, a huge passage appeared. Seeing this, Zhang Tao rushed into the passage without saying anything. The others all followed. At this moment, the two venerable emperors came to their senses, and they could not hide the shock on their faces. King Wu must be crazy. He was not dead yet. In King Wu's current situation, if he swallowed the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave, the two of them could still fight, and it was hard to say who would live and who would die in the end. Opening a passage, could it really save mankind? For this, the price King Wu had to pay was unimaginable. His mentality was not even 1/10 of his strength, and there was still a venerable emperor in his body, who could come out at any time. Was all this really worth it? King Wu had a chance to escape alone. Although they thought about it, the two venerable emperors still said quickly, "Go after him. Such a brutal person must die." Zhang Tao was now the weakest he had ever been. He could not use his mentality, and his body was also trapped by an emperor-level expert. It would be good if he had the strength of a true god. If they did not kill him now, when would they? Ruthless enough! Li Zhu also sighed, then said with a smile, "King Wu is more decisive than I thought. But in this way, even if some human experts escape this time, they will die next, unless they hide for the rest of their lives. Is it worth it?" King Wu was injured like this. Even if he didn't die now, people would hunt them down. Someone answered after he finished speaking. "Maybe he has a backup plan." Unquestionable Jian answered indifferently. Li Zhu looked at him and said with a smile, "Demon Sovereign, don't you go and save them? If you don't, your wife may not come back." "It doesn't matter," Unquestionable Jian said indifferently. "He just told me everything through voice transmission. Although this man is sinister and cunning, he is decisive and knows his limits." Zhang Tao told him the location of the ice coffin when he was injured like this. He was decisive enough. Otherwise, Unquestionable Jian would not have been afraid of anything. He might have used his strength to do something. Li Zhu said with a smile again, "That is a little out of my expectation. Demon Sovereign, do you think he can escape this disaster?" "Not interested." Unquestionable Jian smashed King Thousand Goblins' dragon head with a casual blow. He said indifferently, "Wait. I promised him that you can chase him after 10 minutes. Don't force me to kill you." That was Zhang Tao's only request. If so, Unquestionable Jian would satisfy him. The 6 venerable sovereigns could chase him. He knew the location of the ice coffin, so he didn't care anymore. But he didn't mind satisfying Zhang Tao after 10 minutes. The venerable sovereigns looked grim, but no one attacked again. King Kun had been stopped. No one could defeat Unquestionable Jian. If so, they would wait a little longer. King Wu didn't have the ability to fight them now. As long as they caught him and found him, humans would be wiped out. Everyone looked at Unquestionable Jian. His figure was still illusory. Li Zhu was looking at him too. He seemed a little confused. Even if Demon Sovereign is hiding in the land of rebirth, does he still need to hide at this moment? He doesn't even dare to restore his real body. Then, Li Zhu said with a smile, "Or, Demon Sovereign is no longer Demon Sovereign?" Unquestionable Jian looked at him, saying nothing. Li Zhu mumbled, "Some people think you're either dead or resurrected. But if you're resurrected, you wouldn't be as powerful as you are now. But why doesn't anyone think? Maybe you're really resurrected, but you found the body of the Demon Sovereign?" Li Zhu said playfully. "A martial artist who revives with memories, voluntarily revives, seals his remains, and then retrieves them. This king has never tried it before. Would he still be able to maintain his previous life's battle prowess? Demon Sovereign, why don't you tell me?" Unquestionable Jian said faintly. "Do you want to try?" "No. I just want to know why you resurrected and gave up the identity of the Demon Sovereign. Is it necessary to give up the power of the Demon Sovereign?" What Li Zhu said made King Ming and the others shudder. What did he mean? Could it be that the current Demon Sovereign was just a body? Someone was controlling it? No, could it be that the resurrected Demon Emperor was controlling his own body? Was it possible? Resurrected? Unquestionable, Jian said coldly. Li Zhu, you're overthinking. Do I have to do that? Isn't it? Then why doesn't the demon sovereign dare to show his face? Or is he afraid of exposing something? Are you that interested? Unquestionable, Jian said softly. I'm also very interested in you. Who are you? As soon as he finished speaking, he slashed with his sword. The void shook. Li Zhu dodged. He did not take it head-on, nor did he attack. While Li Zhu and Unquestionable Jian were testing each other. Capital City Catacombs. Fan Ping's face was full of despair. It was over. He was surrounded by venerable emperors. However, at the moment of his despair, 100 miles away, a wave so powerful that it could destroy heaven and earth spread, attracting everyone's attention. The next moment, a wave of space fluctuation rippled around Fan Ping. Zhang Tao's face was pale. He grabbed him with one hand and said in a muffled voice, "Luckily I can sense you, kid." He knew Fan Ping too well. Plus, their paths overlapped, so he could still sense Fan Ping's location. He broke through the void in an instant and grabbed Fan Ping. Then, he dragged Fan Ping into the space passageway and sprinted toward Misery. The remaining human powerhouses were all there, flying toward the other end of the passageway at breakneck speed. Behind them, a large number of powerhouses were chasing after them. Zhang Tao did not care. At this moment, his mentality was terrifyingly weak, but he still sent a voice transmission to Fan Ping. When we reach the Forbidden Sea later, escape immediately. Remember, you must help me revitalize humanity. The stronger humanity is, the more hope I have to recover. Otherwise, I won't live for long. In this life, I've eavesdropped on too many secrets. Now I'm getting my comeuppance. Without mentality, it's worse than death. Do you hear me, kid? Zhang Tao was not sad. He was just a little emotional. He even said directly, "Without mentality, a life without gossip. I'd rather die. You better remember this." This kind of life was too boring. He did not want it. Even if the situation was still dangerous, even if everyone could see that he was seriously injured, like a candle in the wind, Fan Ping and the others did not know whether to laugh or cry. Why were you still thinking about gossip at this time? The next moment, the passageway entrance appeared. They had arrived at the Forbidden Sea. Zhang Tao did not say anything. He grabbed Fan Ping and tossed him forward, roaring, "Remember this! Remember!" Fan Ping replied loudly. Zhang Tao did not look sad at all, but at this moment, Fan Ping could not stop his tears from flowing. "Remember! You're going to die. I can feel it. Your mentality is weakening. How much longer can you hold on?" Fan Ping did not ask. He did not want to ask. Humans must be strong. The king of humans needed humans to be strong. If they were not strong, he would definitely die. Tears flowed. With a bang, Fan Ping fell into the sea, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1001. He threw Fan Ping away. At this moment, on the shore of the Forbidden Sea, Zhang Tao looked back at the crowd. Other than him, there were 42 people. On the catacombs side, including King Hua, there were 4 people. On the human side, there were 38 people. Wu Chuan and Kong Lingyuan had just arrived. Originally, there were 36 people excluding Zhang Tao. When they came, there were 52 people excluding him and Heavenly King Jun. In this battle, 16 human desperation realm powerhouses had fallen. Nearly 1/3. Zhang Tao looked at the crowd, turned around and punched, shattering the passageway. In the distance, some true king powerhouses rushed out from the shattered space, but they were hundreds of miles away. Further away, Zhang Tao took Fan Ping away, and the others followed. There were nearly 300 powerhouses on both sides added together. Today, more than 100 powerhouses had died in battle. In addition to these remaining people, there were close to 500 true God realm and above powerhouses gathered at the king battlefield. More than half of the 3 realms' true gods are here today, Zhang Tao murmured. More than half. Except for a few people, almost all of them were here today. In these years, they had experienced the war of the earthly emperor-god dynasty, the war between the North and the South, and the demon emperor's invasion 1,000 years ago. After so many years of fighting, many true god powerhouses had died. Today, except for some true gods who stayed behind, such as some borderlands, outland, immortal islands, catacombs, and divine sects, those who should have come were all here. No, some people haven't arrived yet, Zhang Tao continued to murmur. Who hadn't arrived? The catacombs' powerhouses had yet to appear. 1,000 years ago, the demon emperor killed some veteran true kings. After that, many of those true king powerhouses disappeared. For example, Cat Tree did not arrive today. No one knew where these veteran powerhouses were hiding. They had not been seen until now. However, there should not be many of them. Otherwise, they would not have been defeated 1,000 years ago, and so many true kings were slaughtered by the demon emperor. Do your best and leave it to fate. Zhang Tao looked at the people who were chasing behind. He did not know if they would come when the trap was activated. As for the people present, since they were so close, most of them would go. However, those hidden fellows might not arrive before the trap was closed and sealed. If that happened, he would not be able to do anything. But when the time comes, the three realms will be in chaos, and the leaders of the various factions will disappear. The remaining true gods might not target the humans. All kinds of thoughts flashed through his mind. The next moment, Zhang Tao said in a low voice, "So many comrades have died. I can't accept this. Among the catacombs leaders, almost none of them died. I am even more dissatisfied. Not a single one of Ming Wang, Feng Wang, and the others died, but I'm still not satisfied. It's not just them. This time, the realm beyond heaven played a huge role in this. The contributions of the realm beyond heaven could not go unnoticed. Many venerable sovereigns had joined the battle. The 5 venerable sovereigns who came to assist the humans were all entangled by the Grand Masters. 3 of the venerable sovereigns who besieged Zhang Tao were also from the Grand Masters. The 3 venerable sovereigns who would take part in the battle in the domain were the last things to worry about. In the overseas celestial islands, the nameless sovereign venerable had participated in the battle at the beginning, but he had been killed by Moon Spirit before he could even make a move. This had scared the sovereigns of the overseas celestial islands so much that almost none of them dared to make a move. This time, so many humans had perished. The catacombs were mortal enemies. There was no need to say anything. When 2 armies fought, there was no need to hold grudges. However, the realm beyond heavens, up until now, not a single venerable emperor of the realm beyond Avalon had died, and almost none of the real gods had died. At the end of the battle, the realm beyond Avalon might have suffered the least. The War King looked at the rapidly approaching pursuers and cursed. Still not leaving? What's the point of being unresigned? You're weaker than him, leave? Zhang Tao gritted his teeth and said, If we don't hurt them and kill them, they might not come after us. Everyone, listen to me. Later, all of you will infuse your power into my body. We will kill a venerable sovereign before we leave. Everyone was stunned. Zhang Tao was not Fang Ping. Previously, when he fused with the Tao, he did not fuse with the Tao just because he wanted to. That was because 6 near-emperor level powerhouses were willing to sacrifice their lives in order to successfully fuse with the Tao. Now that the energy had entered Zhang Tao's body, he would be the first to explode. Zhang Tao, cut the crap and hurry up. My Tao of normalization can withstand this. Zhang Tao looked at the people behind him and said with bright eyes, Damn, if you want to kill someone powerful. Kill Changrong. I'm going to release my dragon transformation. Having said that, he growled. Hurry, leave a few who are fast and preserve their strength. They will lead us to escape later. As soon as he said that, everyone stopped talking. Except for a few extremely fast powerhouses, the others all infused their power into Zhang Tao's body. From inside Zhang Tao's body came the roar of the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven's Master. Damn it! You'll die. His mentality was almost depleted. Zhang Tao was still letting others infuse his power. If his golden body exploded later, he would really die. Most importantly, he was currently trapped by Zhang Tao's physical body. If Zhang Tao exploded, he would probably die too. You don't want to die? As long as you don't want to die. If you don't want to die, then help me sort out my power. Zhang Tao grinned. Scared? So what if it was the enemy? When the enemy is here, you have to serve me too. I'm afraid of death too, but I dare to die. Do you dare? As soon as he said that, the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven's master stopped talking. No one knew how angry he was. Soon, however, Zhang Tao, who was about to explode, stopped expanding. This person was really helping Zhang Tao sort out the messy power. Now, the two of them were almost one. If Zhang Tao died, would the others deliberately let him live? Stop joking. Having one less competitor was a good thing. Zhang Tao took a step back and quickly stepped into the range of the Forbidden Sea. The Forbidden Sea could absorb the overflowing energy and conceal one's aura. This place was also the best place to ambush people. Dragon Transformation Emperor, hold Changrong back for a moment and bring him to the front. Right at this moment, Dragon Transformation, who was currently fighting with Heavenly Emperor Changrong, heard a weak voice. It was very weak and somewhat lacking in energy. But he recognized that it was Zhang Tao's voice. His expression did not change. As an ancient emperor, Dragon Transformation could still do this. The current Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was also somewhat powerless. He had aged. His life was about to reach its end. His strength was declining, his condition was declining. Although Changrong was also ancient, he was younger than him. His consumption these few years was not great either. Although he had the upper hand for a while, fighting until now, he fell into a disadvantage instead. He understood Changrong too well. Once he died, everyone in Dragon Transformation Heaven would have to die. Originally, he was still counting on the humans to help. Who would have thought that the humans suffered heavy losses this time? Zhang Tao and the others might not be able to survive. Therefore, Changrong had to die. If Heavenly Emperor Changrong did not die, then what would be destroyed would definitely be Dragon Transformation Heaven. Dragon Transformation. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation muttered. Dragon Transformation Heaven, King Dragon Transformation. No one knew why he had this name, Dragon Transformation Heaven. It was just a name, how he named it was up to him. But sometimes, was it really just a random name? The next instant, this ancient emperor let everyone know why he was called Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation. Roar! An earth-shattering roar sounded out. At this moment, between heaven and earth, a colossal dragon that was 10,000 meters long appeared. A true colossal dragon. Demon race! How is this possible? Dragon Transformation is a demon! At this moment, everyone was stupefied. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was actually a demon race. Impossible! The human clan and the monster clan were completely different. When the monster clan reached the true immortal realm, they could transform into a human. However, they could not transform into a real human. For experts like the Thousand Goblin King, they could maintain their human form. They could hide it from those who were weaker than them. Those who were stronger than them, or those who were on the same level, could tell that they were from the monster clan. And Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, no one had ever thought that he was of the demon race. At this moment, even Heavenly Emperor Changrong was slightly taken aback too. Demon race? There was no time for him to think. The Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation who transformed into a dragon form, his aura rose a trace. It was not too much, but he who was originally the Lord of the Four Brahmas, his strength was incomparably powerful. At this moment, even if it was just a trace of strength rise, it seemed to be somewhat close to the level of the 36 saints. Roar! The dragon roar shook the heavens. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation brandished his claws. The enormous claw directly grabbed Heavenly Emperor Changrong. Dragon transformation, you exceeded this seat's expectations. But even if you're of the demon race, so what? Heavenly Emperor Changrong gave a cold snort, a spear sweeping out, sweeping the enormous dragon claw until blood flowed. Dragon transformation was strong, but he was not weak either. Similarly, being the Lord of the Four Brahmas, dragon transformation's losses these few years were tremendous. Now, his life was even approaching the end. Fighting until now, even if dragon transformation transformed, it was also just a trace stronger than him. In a contest between powerhouses, this bit of disparity was not enough to become the foundation that determined everything. But at this moment, Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation was not in order to kill him at all. With a fierce roar, the enormous dragon claw grabbed the other party and tore through the air rapidly, flying towards the Forbidden Sea. Since Zhang Tao said it, perhaps there was a way to kill Changrong. Heavenly Emperor Changrong furrowed his brows slightly. The long spear tore through the air, piercing through the enormous claw. Golden blood sprayed all the way. If someone obtained this blood under a lucky chance at this moment, they might be able to be like Zhang Tao back then, obtaining a huge lucky chance. If a demonic plant or demonic beast obtained it, and did not self-destruct from the energy impact, there would also be huge harvests. But today, probably no one would have this lucky chance anymore. In the massive capital catacombs, it was hard to say whether or not there were living people below true God at this moment. The pressure of several hundred powerhouses shook heaven and earth. The entire capital catacombs was trembling. The Forbidden Sea was even roaring as if it wanted to invade this place. In the capital catacombs, there was a human race's largest giant city. At this moment, quite a few people saw that enormous city. But at this time, the giant city was empty. Under the circumstances where no one was guarding, the enormous city seemed to be collapsing. The giant city that had stood tall for close to 100 years seemed to have the trend of being completely destroyed on this day. No one cared about how a city was. At this moment, between heaven and earth, it seemed like there was only that enormous dragon, the dragon claw grabbing a powerhouse whose vitality broke through the clouds. Dragon transformation! At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Changrong also saw the human side on the Forbidden Sea ahead and said with a cold snort, "Do you think that by joining hands with them, you can kill this emperor?" Wishful thinking. Even if these people joined hands, killing an emperor rank would also not be that fast. At this moment, the powerhouses at the back already caught up. Not far away, Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu shook off Gong Zhanzi and was just preparing to rescue him. At this time, everyone was of the same breath and branch, and also knew that they could not let a powerful comrade go and seek death. How could they leave him be? And right at this time, a blood-colored long blade condensed in Zhang Tao's hand. Blood-colored long blades tended to be the symbol of humans going all out to kill. The humans' most famous combat technique was not Zhang Tao and these people's ultimate art, but the blood blade art. A combat technique that condensed all of one's strength, unleashing a final killing blow. Martial artists who used this combat technique before, 8 or 9 out of 10 all fell in the catacombs. Some killed a powerful enemy in the final blow, some did not. Regardless of whether there was or not, it made the enemy tremble in fear. The blood-colored long blade appeared. Heavenly Emperor Changrong frowned slightly. The one who unleashed the blade was Zhang Tao. Previously, when Zhang Tao was seriously injured, he also sensed it. His strength had fallen severely. The current Zhang Tao, even if he attacked with all his strength, a desperate blow, he could not do anything to him either. But why did he feel somewhat uneasy? Emperor-level powerhouses were extremely sensitive to danger. Just as he felt uneasy, the distance between the two parties was less than 10 miles. At this moment, the void in front of Heavenly Emperor Changrong trembled. A great Tao crept over. Great Tao of Source, grasped proficiently, could even be used as a passageway. 10 miles, it was just 5,000 meters. Emperor-level powerhouses all had the ability to cross such a long distance in one step. Right at this time, a figure appeared. Zhang Tao. He did not choose to attack through the air but stepped out of the Forbidden Sea. At this moment, Zhang Tao wielded a blood-colored long blade in his hand, blood gushing on his golden body, but he roared fiercely. Today, killing my human race's people will all end up like this. The shout had yet to fade when a long blade tore open the world. Damn it! Heavenly Emperor Changrong roared angrily, a spear slashing out. The moment the long spear touched the blood blade, it instantly exploded. Chop! Puchi! Like cutting through tofu, Heavenly Emperor Changrong's long spear shattered, and in the next second, the long blade directly cut him in half. This blade not only cut his golden body into pieces, but also his mental energy at this moment. Zhang Tao's golden body exploded, but he laughed crazily. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's dragon claws were also cut, and even spread up, his torso was exploding, but he also laughed crazily at this moment. Rumble! The sound of thunder rang out. The energy sun appeared. The entire sun turned blood red. At this moment, the entire underground cavern, as far as the eye could see, was dyed blood red. Not only that, the blood red color was still spreading out of the celestial realm wall. At this moment, the human world, Earth, was dyed blood red. Heavenly Emperor Changrong, the master of the four Brahmas, close to the sage realm. Ancient emperors. Before the celestial realm was destroyed, they were active in the celestial realm. Ranked 16th on the emperor list. And the bronze emperors with the strength of sages were only ranked 11th. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was ranked 8th, but that was when he was in the state of dying, and was not afraid of death. In addition, many experts did not appear, and Li Zhu and the others hid their strength, which was why they had such a ranking. At this moment, the body of this emperor, who had lived since ancient times, was cut in half, his eyes still filled with confusion and disbelief. I'm dead? In the battle to destroy the earthly Emperor God dynasty, he did not die fighting the earthly emperor's projection. He did not participate in the battle between the north and the south, but at that time, no one dared to provoke him. The demon emperor wanted to destroy the world, but when he reached Changrong heaven, he turned and left. 1,000 years later, on the eve of the arrival of the Great Era, he came out. Even if a heavenly king or sage appeared, he still did not think he would die. Who was he? The master of the four Brahmas. Even if a sage wanted to kill him, they would have to pay a heavy price. Other than a lunatic like Moon Spirit, the two kings did not dare to fight him to the end. Once they killed him, they would be injured, and the future would be very troublesome. Unless a heavenly king attacked him. But heavenly king experts were restrained, and they targeted each other. Heavenly Emperor Changrong did not have time to think. Endless darkness devoured him. The moment his consciousness was destroyed, a rain of blood fell on his face. At this moment, his last thought was not indignation, but a very strange thought. My great Tao collapsed, and this was all this blood rain? Didn't they say that the stronger the person who died, the more obvious the phenomenon would be? Was I not strong? Boom! The two halves of the corpse fell to the ground, causing the earth to collapse. Heavenly Emperor Changrong was dead. The strongest person who had fallen today. A powerhouse close to the sage realm had fallen, not the kind that a nameless venerable emperor could compare to. There were not many ancient venerable emperors left, and there were not many venerable emperors who came today who were older than Changrong. In a situation where the humans were no longer able to fight, Zhang Tao had actually killed an ancient venerable emperor. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Pingyu stopped, not daring to go forward. Even though Zhang Tao's golden body had exploded, and his aura was almost undetectable. But he still stopped. At the same time, among the 14 powerhouses of the 10 major grotto heavens and 4 Brahmas, the only venerable emperor who had not appeared until now appeared. Heavenly Emperor Yulong. Yulong Heaven, where Yushizi was. This venerable emperor had not appeared from beginning to end, nor had he participated in the battle. But at this moment, he still walked out of the spatial rift. Looking at Changrong's fallen corpse, his gaze was complicated. The masters of the 4 Brahmas, from ancient times until now, had gone through countless battles, and now there was finally one less. In the sky, lightning flashed and thunder roared. The phenomenon was indeed a little different, but unfortunately, Heavenly Emperor Changrong could not see it. Just as everyone was shocked, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation transformed into human form, grabbed Zhang Tao, and quickly fled in the direction of the Forbidden Sea. At this moment, Zhang Tao spat out blood, red blood, but he laughed softly and said, "Storage ring!" Dragon Transformation's figure paused, and without turning his head, he turned around and grabbed half of the corpse, and quickly fled. Even a martial king wanted money. Look at the situation. Everyone was shocked that he had killed Changrong, and this guy was actually still thinking about the storage ring. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation almost had a mental breakdown. Changrong is dead! At this moment, Heavenly King Jin, King Sun, and King Zhen stopped fighting and looked at the Forbidden Sea thousands of miles away. Their gazes were a little complicated. How many years had it been? The death of someone at Changrong's level was almost impossible to see. Even if a few masters of the 10 major grotto heavens fell in the battle of the north and south, they might not be as strong as Changrong. Changrong was slightly older than them. Thinking about it, he was an expert from the same era as the 8 kings. "King Human King!" King Zhen murmured. He originally thought that King Human King was at the end of his rope, but who would have thought that he would exceed expectations time and time again? At this moment, he actually killed Changrong. Even with the help of Dragon Transformation, even so, it was still shocking. It might not be easy for Heavenly King to kill Changrong. However, King Human King is completely crippled. King Sun looked at Heavenly King Jin indifferently and said, "Li Xuanxie, do you still want to hold us back? The human world has lost." King Human King was crippled. Who else could fight the remaining people? There was not a single Darch-level expert in the human world. As for Dragon Transformation and the others, would they really fight to the last moment for the human world? At this moment, Gong Yuzi no longer participated in the battle. Zhang Tao used the corpse to threaten unquestionable Jian, so Gong Yuzi did not participate in the battle. How long could Dragon Emperor, Heavenly King Xianji, and Gong Zhuanzi fight for? Heavenly King Jin thought for a moment and said slowly, "You and I don't need to interfere at this moment. Whether the human world lives or dies, why do we have to depend on them? Why don't the two of you wait together?" After saying that, he teleported and appeared in another direction of the Forbidden Sea in the blink of an eye. There were also 2 experts here. King Qian and King Kun. 5 Heavenly King experts were here at this moment. Heavenly King Jin's words also reached here. King Qian was an unremarkable old man. When he heard that, he smiled faintly and said, "How the situation of the 3 realms develops depends on them. Why should we interfere? We only need to wait for the Emperor Path to appear and find an opportunity to see if we can step out of the Emperor Path. Now that these people are fighting endlessly, it means that they are still far from the Emperor Path and hope to take another step forward." Before he finished speaking, the young-looking King Kun opposite him said indifferently, "Emperor Path? King Qian, do you have the strength of Heavenly Hound? Even Heavenly Hound couldn't take the final step. Can you?" King Qian smiled and said, "Heavenly Hound wants to forcefully break the door, but we don't need to do that. When the Tao appears, we can just go straight." The Heavenly Hound fell because the Heavenly Hound was too strong and too competitive. It wanted to forcefully break the door. It fought the heavens and earth, and fought the Darch-level experts. Therefore, Heavenly Hound was dead. King Kun did not say anything and did not attack again. At this moment, King Kun looked thousands of miles away as if he had seen everything. He said faintly, "Who is Li Zhu?" King Qian smiled faintly and said, "Him? This old man has guessed a few things. Unbreakable and indestructible, destroying and ruling the world, creating a bright world." Before he finished speaking, King Kun's body trembled slightly. "It's him? Probably." King Qian smiled faintly and said, "It's just some of his memories. It's hard to be sure if it's him or not. It's hard to say whether Li Zhu swallowed him, or he swallowed Li Zhu. After hearing King Qian's words, they all guessed Li Zhu's identity. Even Heavenly King Jin raised his eyebrows slightly and said with a smile, "It's him? This is out of my expectations. This person is ambitious. Although he is not an emperor, he used the name of an emperor to carry out emperor's affairs. The three realms are in chaos, and the heaven realm is destroyed. It can be said that this person's contributions cannot go unnoticed." It was just a few words, but it was shocking. At this moment, if there were outsiders here, even the ancient venerable emperors, they would be shocked. At the same time, a few thousand miles away, Li Zhu seemed to sense something. He turned his head and looked over. He nodded slightly and smiled calmly. King Kun was indifferent. This person should be killed. King Qian smiled and said, "Isn't what you've learned similar to him? We're the same kind of people. Why do you care so much?" Back then, the earthly sovereign also trusted him a lot. "I heard that he even taught you. You can be considered his disciple, right?" "Disciple?" King Kun looked at him indifferently as if he did not want to say anything more. At this moment, Heavenly King Jin looked at King Qian and said with a smile, "Heaven Plant's royal court, is it really you?" "It's me, it's not me," King Qian said mysteriously. Then he laughed and said, "It's not me, but I heard that Heaven Plant's royal court has a King Qian. How can I use the title so easily? I was even suppressed by you, Li Xuanxie. Wouldn't that ruin my reputation? 300 years ago, I killed him. After that, I became King Qian." Heavenly King Jin understood and said with a smile, "That's right. No wonder I felt something was wrong. So it was you." After that, Heavenly King Jin looked at Li Zhu and then the two kings. He smiled and said, "Call them over for a chat. We're all old friends. It's rare to see each other. Speaking of which, we haven't seen each other for thousands of years." As he said that, he blasted out a path. On the other side, the two kings turned around. No matter what Heavenly King Jin said, Heaven Plant's king said indifferently, "Since the Heavenly Kings have invited me, how would I dare to refuse?" As soon as he said that, the two kings walked over. On the other side, King Qian broke the void with a strike. On the other side, Li Zhu shook his head lightly and said, "People of different principles can't make plans together. You have to come whether you want to or not." Heavenly King Jin reached out his hand and grabbed. It was not up to him whether he wanted to come or not. Chapter 1002. Those heavenly king powerhouses gathered together. At the same time, even though Zhang Tao was already powerless, he roared loudly again. "All of you just wait. I, your father, will remember everyone today. Don't even think about running. There will be a day of reckoning. If I, this Zhang, don't die, you all can't live." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's expression changed slightly. "At this time, you're still spouting harsh words?" But Zhang Tao laughed loudly and said, "Your father opened the gate of all living things and became an emperor. Those who deserve to be killed don't even think about escaping. Even if I don't become an emperor, your father will also become your nightmare day and night." At the back, some people woke up. Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu and these people's expressions changed slightly. This guy, at this point, he actually still dared to say this. This was really courting death. Even if some people originally did not want to kill him, they had to kill him at this time. Many people actually did not necessarily want to exterminate the human race, crippling the human race, such as King Wu dying, more than half of the apex dying. This was actually enough. But Zhang Tao said this, then they all had to die. Because not only Zhang Tao, at this moment, War King also roared loudly. "That's how it should be. As long as we live, none of these guys can think about living. 1,000 times, 10,000 times. Sky beyond heaven, outer sea immortal island, domain, divine sect, catacombs. Those who have attacked humans today, 9 generations will be exterminated." This fatty was gnashing his teeth at this moment. Zhang Tao laughed loudly. "Go! One dead is one dead. Whoever lives will take revenge. Don't leave a single one alive! Zhang Tao roared loudly again, his eyes blood-red, turning his head to look around, laughing loudly and saying, I'll remember you all. Can't forget. You all just wait. The current him was more like a villain. He, who had just killed Chang Rong, also proved to everyone that everyone present, no matter who encountered him, could be killed. King Wu was too strong. If King Wu only had the level of killing Heavenly Emperor Great Peace, Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu and these people might not be worried about anything. But after he killed Chang Rong, even saints had to be careful. Chase! Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu gave a clear cry, leading everyone to chase quickly. At the same time, many emperors chased in the direction of the Forbidden Sea without a word. Fate Monarch and the other venerable sovereigns got rid of the unquestionable sword and followed them. Chase. Kill until the human race is extinct. How unwise was Zhang Tao to utter such harsh words at this time. Did he think that he could scare them off? The more it was like this, the more they wanted to take revenge, and the more they had to hunt him down to the end. They were not the only ones. At this moment, some venerable sovereigns who had not participated in the battle also exchanged a glance and followed them. They wanted to see if Zhang Tao would die. Just now, when Zhang Tao swept his gaze around, he seemed to have seen them as well. If this person didn't die, there would be a huge disaster. Behind them, Moon's spirit roared furiously. Where is Fang Ping? Zhang Tao had thrown Fang Ping away. Right now, she could not sense where Fang Ping was. In the Taboo Sea, some of the powerhouses who still had some energy left brought along the powerhouses who had consumed a lot of energy and fled. Upon hearing that, Zhao Xingwu hurriedly sent a telepathic message to Zhang Tao. We're in big trouble. Think of something quickly. If we can't find Fang Ping, she might even destroy the world. Zhang Tao's brows twitched when he heard that. Grabbing Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's arm, he shouted again. You want the remains, is it? Fang Ping has already been handed over to me. Venerable Darch Moon Spirit, if I don't die this time, I will naturally hand him over to you. Or if I'm about to die and you're still nearby, I will also hand him over to you. Humph! A cold snort resounded between heaven and earth. Moon Spirit's eyes were blood-red as she said, If I don't see him in the end, I will kill you first. Then I will destroy your entire clan. Zhang Tao did not reply. This woman had to be taken away too. Although he had helped humanity block many powerhouses today, the premise of everything was the remains, not to mention that there was no such thing. Even if there was, who knew if this woman would continue to go crazy if he handed it over to her? Knowing that her man was really dead, this woman would go crazy and want to destroy the world. This was something that could not be predicted. Zhang Tao did not reply. Instead, he kept turning his head to look at those who were chasing after him. At this moment, he was no longer shouting. His eyes, however, were cold and fierce, imprinting one powerhouse after another in his heart. The more he did so, the more terrified everyone felt. King Wu's vengeance was too strong. This time, King Wu must die. It was too frightening. Moon Spirit was crazy, but this lunatic could still be avoided. As long as you did not offend her to the point of death, she would not deliberately chase after you. She had a very high attitude. However, King Wu was capable of anything. Rumble! One by one, the powerhouses quickly broke through the air and chased after him. Even the powerhouses who did not participate in the battle coveted the gate of all living things, and also wanted to see Zhang Tao die. Seeing this scene, Zhang Tao breathed a sigh of relief. Not only that, at this moment, the gate of all living things on Zhang Tao's body once again emitted a bright light. He had to lure out some of the hidden guys. It's not enough. Some of the guys who are hiding deeply may not be able to sense it. Even if they sense it, by the time they arrive, it may be over. I need to make a bigger noise. At this moment, Zhang Tao's mind was constantly thinking about something. Cat, make some noise. Don't expose your location. Make something that can be sensed by the powerhouses. He had to give those hidden people time to arrive. He dared not to say anything else, but he dared to say that the Emperor-level powerhouses would come. Emperor-level powerhouses lived to become emperors. As for the Emperor-level powerhouses, their strength was inferior to the 36 sages and the heavenly kings. It did not matter. When the Emperor's great path opened, they might directly enter the gate and become emperors. At that time, the long road would not be a problem. As for whether it was possible or not, no one dared to be sure, but it was also their only chance. There was still a possibility. It was possible to go as far as the Origin Tao could go in a day. It was rumored that there were extreme Tao heavenly emperors who could walk tens of thousands of meters in a day. When the opportunity arrived, everything was possible. Annoying cat. At this moment, in the depths of the Forbidden Sea, the cat muttered. How annoying! He had to work again. What was attracting people and not letting them know where he was? Didn't the fake human emperor know that this was very complicated? I really want to stab him to death. The cat sighed. It was so tiring to be a cat and not be able to rest. Making people feel that there is a problem. It might be an opportunity. The cat lay in the void and looked up at the sky. As he looked, he suddenly had an idea. Yes, I forgot about this. The cat looked at the huge sun in the sky. It was already dawn. This movement can be very big. But how do we go up? The cat had a headache again. It was very difficult to go up. It seemed to be in the sky, but in fact, it was very far away. This big cake is outside the 9th heaven, and I can't break the 9th heaven. How do we go up? The cat had a headache. Back then, the heavenly dog wanted to eat this, but it could not break the 9th heaven no matter what. It could not even steal it. What should he do? Back then, someone seemed to have opened a path that went straight to the 9th heaven. Is it still there? The cat recalled the past. As he thought about it, he felt a little sleepy. He shook his fat head hurriedly. He could not sleep. If he fell asleep, the fake human emperor and the others would all die, and then there would be nothing to eat. So annoying. Who opened a path to go outside the 9th heaven? Where is that path again? The cat muttered to himself. Soon, all kinds of messy things appeared on his paws. There was a broken crown, a broken jade pendant, a broken weapon. Fang Ping felt that it was a rag and bone collector. Maybe he was right. However, even if it was rag and bone, some emperor ranks would fight over it if it was thrown out. After searching for a while, the cat found a broken small hoe and muttered, Is it this guy? This guy likes to use a hoe to open a path. Did he open a path to the 9th heaven? The cat really could not remember, but he had to make every possible effort. Very soon, the old cat muttered, Little hoe, find a way for me. I want to go beyond the 9 heavens. The hoe seemed to respond, trembling slightly. Soon, a path appeared in the void. The cat poked his head in to take a look. Suddenly, he turned around and slapped the hoe, saying angrily, It's not this place. Then, void paths appeared in the surroundings again. The cat poked his head in one by one. It was not this place. Just when the cat was a little disappointed, a path appeared shakily. At this moment, the hoe seemed to have exhausted all its power and exploded with a bang. The cat looked sad. It was over, the hoe was broken. Even a liar owes himself 14. No, 18. Forget it, let's say 20 divine weapons. The cat was too lazy to count. He would just say 20. Although this hoe had long been useless, it was still a very powerful divine weapon in the past. As for whether there were still 20 divine weapons in the 3 realms, this was not in the cat's consideration. The void path trembled. The cat looked at it helplessly and muttered, This path is going to be destroyed. What if I can't come back? Really, there's no one outside the 9th heaven, and there's nothing to eat. If I really get lost, who's going to raise me? It did not want to go. But after hesitating for a moment, it walked in pitifully while wagging its tail. The void path was frighteningly ancient. It was dead silent and dark. The cat stepped into the path and was a little scared. He meowed and quickly ran forward. He did not care what was in the path and did not dare to look around. It was so dark. He was a little scared. After running for a while, there was light in front of him. The energy was so dense that it condensed into lumps and kept falling. An incomparably huge, sun-like object appeared in front of the cat's eyes. At this moment, the cat could not see the whole picture at all, nor was he interested. He had seen this thing before. Other than that fool Tengu, he did not want to eat it at all. He could not raise his appetite. What gate of all living? I always feel that those fellows hid the source of the great path in here. The cat muttered to itself. Maybe the door that was blocking the door was here. But what did it have to do with me? I don't have a door, you can just snatch it. The ninth heaven. They could not come, so it was useless to say anything. The source of the great path might be here. Forget it, I don't care. I'll hit it a few times. When the cat spoke, he stretched out his paws. He hesitated for a moment, a little afraid. There seemed to be countless veins on the surface of the huge sun in front of him. Some of them were broken, and blood seeped out. The cat did not care about this. He did not like the color of blood. He was looking for a suitable place to hit. Hit it once, then run! I don't know where it will explode, just don't blow me up. The cat muttered for a while and then somewhat resigned to his fate. Hit it! An energy ball condensed on his paws. The cat quickly threw it, and did not look back. He meowed wildly and quickly returned along the path. He ran. What if he was blown up if he did not run? After running for a while, there was a rumbling sound behind him. The path kept exploding. The cat screamed. No! Don't follow me, I didn't do it on purpose. This cat accidentally hit it. Don't chase me. Save me. I'm going to die. The cat's cry was unbearable. I'm going to die. The rumbling sound behind him became louder and louder. The cat ran forward frantically. Soon, there was light in front of him. He was almost at the exit. But when it saw the exit, the cat screamed again. The pseudo-human emperor told it to make some noise and not expose the place. Now that it exploded, it would make a big noise, but wouldn't the place be exposed? Meow. Whatever, I'll try moving the celestial realm away later. The cat could not care any more and rushed out. Just as he rushed out, an extremely violent energy wave came from behind him. Rumble! The Forbidden Sea went crazy. The entire Forbidden Sea was suddenly set off at this moment. Heaven and earth were trembling. In the void, at this moment, great doubts suddenly appeared. Some were illusory, but some were real. Countless energies would have been absorbed in the Forbidden Sea, but at this moment, it was the opposite. They overflowed from the Forbidden Sea, gathered together, and then exploded. The cat was dizzy. He did not know how far he was blown up. In fact, it even saw a small island off in the distance that had just been blown up. There seemed to be someone on it. The cat covered his eyes with his claws, not looking. I didn't do it. The pseudo-human emperor wanted me to do it. As for the 33 immortal islands, whoever was unlucky enough to be blown up by me. By the pseudo-human emperor, it has nothing to do with me. The cat pushed all the blame away. I forgot after a nap. It was the pseudo-human emperor who did it. The commotion was not over yet. At this moment, all kinds of phenomena appeared. Heaven and earth alternated between gold and blood. The Forbidden Sea was still tumbling and spreading out, and rumbling sounds resounded in all directions. Not only that, but the huge sun in the sky seemed to be shaking slightly. The sky changed. Night, day, it changed rapidly. The entire catacombs fell into an extremely strange state at this moment. Black and white alternated. When the cat saw this scene, his fat face seemed a little embarrassed. It was just a hit. Why was there such a big commotion? Looking at the trap that he had set up not far away, the cat looked around furtively. Then, he quickly rushed over, struggled to carry the door, and fled quickly, panting. He had to run. If he did not run, he would be finished. The pseudo-human emperor was satisfied now, right? This cat had caused a big commotion. At the same time, the catacombs. Rumbling sounds resounded in every corner of the catacombs. Heaven and earth were shaking. Blood and gold shone in all directions. Darkness and day kept changing. Countless people looked up at the sky. What was going on? Was the end of the world here? Today, there was a downpour of blood, and now the phenomena had spread everywhere. What was going on? It was not just the catacombs. At this moment, it was the same on earth. The roars of heaven and earth were endless. Countless people walked out of their homes and looked at the constantly changing sky. At this moment, some martial artists on earth seemed to have sensed something different. Nearby, energy was gushing out. No one knew what was going on. Only a few people thought of the catacombs. They did not know if something big had happened in the catacombs, or the celestial world wall was about to shatter. The energy was becoming denser. No one knew what was going on. In some dangerous places in the catacombs. At this moment, someone soared into the sky. In a 10,000-mile swamp, an area densely populated by monsters. An old man emerged from the ground, looked at the sky, and then looked in the direction of the forbidden sea, muttering, "What's going on? The celestial origin is moving. Could it be that the great Tao is about to appear?" The celestial origin was outside the ninth heaven. No one could move it. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors could, but they were all dead. Other than them, who else could move it? Could it be that the great Tao had appeared and moved the celestial origin? Or was it something else? Originally, the old man had been waiting for the great Tao to appear and was not interested in the battle in the king battlefield. The gate of all living things. The gate of all living things was just a rumor. Who knew if it was true or not? Before the great Tao appeared, he would not engage in such a meaningless battle. However, at this moment, the old man looked into the distance and muttered, "The great Tao is moving. I've waited for so many years. No matter what, I should go take a look." The next moment, the old man took a step forward, one step tens of thousands of meters. It seemed slow, but it was shockingly fast. A 10,000-mile distance only took a moment. It was not just this place. At this moment, there were experts appearing in many places. In a catacombs dynasty's territory. In a dazzling palace. A sneaky-looking old man's expression changed. He suddenly looked outside and said in a low voice, "The celestial origin is moving? Who can move the celestial origin?" The old man frowned. Emperor path. Becoming an emperor was the only goal of many experts. However, just as the old man was tempted, his heart suddenly trembled. A figure flashed in his mind, and his body trembled. The heavenly hound was dead. The heavenly hound that made him tremble in fear in the past had died on the path to Emperor Path. Would it be useful if he went? Not only that, the ash cat was also active in the 3 realms. Thinking of this, the old man instantly suppressed the greed in his heart. "I can't go out, I can't leave this place. Once the ash cat found me, it would definitely make me go back and bear fruit." The old man shuddered. Being eaten by humans, no, being eaten by cats every day, he had enough of such a life. He finally escaped when the ash cat was asleep. If the ash cat did not die, he would not leave. Emperor Tyr. So many people tried to become emperors, but how many survived? The old man murmured. "Go ahead and become Renhuang, just don't let the cat become Renhuang." One by one, the experts who had been hiding came out of their hiding places. At the same time, Taboo C. The expressions of the Heavenly King subduing Heavenly King and the other overlords changed as they looked up at the sky. The movement of the immortal origin actually affected the bitter sea. The Heavenly King stage powerhouses looked at each other, and in the next moment, without another word, they all shot off into the distance. The celestial source had actually affected the Sea of Sufferings, which meant that a passageway had appeared between the 9 heavens and the earth realm. Who opened the passage? With the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors gone, who else could open the passage? Could it have been unintentionally opened? No matter what, this was an opportunity. Maybe he could take this opportunity to walk out of the 9 heavens and go to the immortal source. These heavenly king powerhouses did not seem to care much about the gate of all living things before, but at this moment, they were extremely concerned about it. Especially King Kun. No one knew better than him what the so-called gate of all living things was. But at this moment, it wasn't the gate of all living things that was moving, but the immortal origin. A human immortal's immortal source. The root of the turmoil back then. Even the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors might have left something there back then. The 4 emperors wanted to destroy the immortal origin, but in the end, they failed. Back then, there seemed to have been a great battle outside the 9 heavens. Now, they had searched the entire 3 realms, but they could not find anything special. Was the opportunity to become a renhuang there? At this moment, all the heavenly kings were rushing over there. Even Heavenly King Jin was no exception. But at this time, Heavenly King Jin was shocked. The cat did it? It can go to the 9 heavens? This cat, how did it go there? I really want to catch this cat now, and rob it. Even Heavenly King Jin had such thoughts. One could imagine how important it was to go to the 9 heavens at this time. The 9 heavens, let alone the Emperor stage, even heavenly kings could not go there. That was exclusive to the emperors and 4 emperors. Only they could break the 9 heavens and enter the 9 heavens. And the others did not have such strength. The cat's unintentional move attracted too much attention. At this moment, Zhang Tao also felt that something was amiss. The movement was too big. So big that he was shocked. Could it be that the Emperor path had really been opened? Otherwise, how could it cause such a situation? At this moment, Zhang Tao was also dumbfounded. What did the cat do? Could it be that this guy really had a way to open the Emperor path, and now that the act had come true, it went to open it? This cat. If you had said so earlier, I might as well go and become a renhuang. Zhang Tao did not know whether to laugh or cry. Well, the movement was so big that everyone who should know knew. Looking at the experts chasing behind them, many people were eager to make a move. They looked into the depths of the Forbidden Sea. Obviously, these people were hesitating at this moment. Should they continue to chase, or should they go there to take a look? They were hesitating. At this time, Zhang Tao glanced at Warlord. Warlord immediately shouted, "Go there. There's an opportunity over there. Restore your strength and take revenge." The human experts rushed toward the place where the most powerful explosion had just occurred. At this moment, the experts behind no longer hesitated. Not only could they chase after the people, but they could also go there to check the situation. Everyone rushed toward the place where the explosion had occurred. At the same time, everyone gathered there. In the sea, Fan Ping and the others dispelled the combination, restrained their auras, and rushed there quickly in the water. While rushing, Fan Ping said in his mind, "Big Cat, did you really open the Emperor path? It was too shocking." At that moment, the Forbidden Sea was tumbling violently. Countless energy waves exploded in the sea. The cat was still very far away from him. In his mind, the cat was so tired that it was panting. It muttered, "No. This cat didn't know. Who knew? This cat had only hit the immortal source. How would it know that there would be such a powerful explosion? It thought that the path was just a little shaken." Fan Ping was speechless. He had the same thought as old Zhang. If he had known this would happen, he would have brought them alone to look for the opportunity. Did it have to be like this? This cat had too many secrets, and it was very unreliable. No, it was so reliable that it was a little scary. "We asked you to make a trap. Don't tell me you really did it?" Chapter 1003. Fan Ping was speechless at the cat's answer. Thinking about it, Fan Ping asked quickly, "Big Cat, is there a way to kill a few heavenly kings or something?" This time, although they had killed many people, compared to the catacombs, the human losses were less than a quarter of theirs. It was really frustrating. The whole world was their enemy. Everyone wanted to kill humans. Because humans might be the key to activating the seed of rebirth, humans could not be too strong, they had to be raised like pigs. When they really needed human blood sacrifices, they could do it as they pleased. Right now, humans were too strong. There was suppressing Heavenly King before and Martial King after. Fan Ping's progress was also frightening, therefore, there was this encirclement and annihilation of humans. Even if Zhang Tao did not set up a trap, there would be such a crisis this time, and even worse. On the human side, if the powerhouses of the 6 sacred lands had not gathered in advance and respected Zhang Tao as king, maybe this time, the human powerhouses would all die. Those people besieged and killed the human powerhouses separately. Their strength could not be used together. It would be strange if the human powerhouses did not die. Therefore, this time they came prepared. The result was still considered good. But so many people died, Fan Ping still felt bad. He saw that a few desperation powerhouses had fallen in Star Town. Sword King had already integrated his Dao. Battle King had shattered his own Dao and continued the Dao of an Emperor-level powerhouse. But it was an outsider after all, it might be troublesome in the future. On Zhang Tao's side, he was also seriously injured and in danger of dying. The more Fan Ping thought about it, the more indignant he was. In his mind, the cat was in so much pain that he wanted to cry. Heavenly King? The liar was crazy. The fake emperor was crazy. The liar was crazy too. They actually wanted this cat to think of a way to kill Heavenly Kings. Heavenly Kings, they were very strong. He was not even emperor level. What were they thinking? The gray cat gobbled up the fish-headed demonic beasts in a frenzy. At this moment, only these fish-headed demonic beasts could comfort its wounded heart. Heavenly Kings are very strong, we can't kill them, the cat said aggrievedly. When Tengu was here, he couldn't even kill Heavenly Kings. He might be able to kill one-on-one, but if 2 come, Tengu can't beat them either. This cat doesn't know how to fight, how can I kill Heavenly Kings? Fan Ping's eyes flickered. If we don't kill Heavenly Kings, what about the 36 saints? Saints? They are also very strong, we can't beat them. Overlord Tyr? Fan Ping lowered his request once again. This time, the cat suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Listen, he had been demoted from a heavenly king to an ordinary overlord. Overlord Tyr. At the moment, the cat was running while carrying the portal. It was so tired that it was panting. After thinking for a long time, it mumbled. I don't know if I can poke an overlord-level creature to death, but I really don't fight. I understand. Do you have a way to help people who self-destruct 90% of their spiritual power recover? Fan Ping still decided to ask. The old cat had many tricks up its sleeve. Perhaps it could help old Zhang recover? Once old Zhang recovered, it wouldn't be difficult for him to kill an overlord if the others didn't expect it. Compared to him, old Zhang and the others would be even more miserable if they self-destructed their spiritual power. Moreover, he didn't self-destruct, but rather directly cut out, and then exploded. He was basically injured. Fan Ping had self-destructed, but he had preserved his origin every time. What Zhang Tao did was equivalent to cutting off his origin source. Now, his origin source was incomplete. Recuperate. The cat was stunned. After thinking for a while, it said hesitantly, This is very difficult. We can only nurture it slowly. However, it's still possible to recover temporarily. It's just that it's fake. Stimulate the potential, and then recover temporarily. After that, it'll be even worse. Forget it then. Fan Ping suddenly dropped the idea. Fake? There would be sequelae after that? Old Zhang was about to be tortured to death. If there were sequelae, he would die even faster. Actually, you can also kill an overlord-level powerhouse, huh? Fan Ping was stunned. Me too? The cat seemed to be very conflicted. It mumbled, It's not either. I have a small stone monument. It's very powerful. I think it used to be Big Black Face. I don't remember. It specializes in poking people's origin source. After collecting their aura, you can sneak into the source world. Can't you go in directly? That's even simpler. You can bring the stone monument and sneak into their source world. Then, you can guide powerhouses and sneak in. Then, you can smash their source world. Fang Ping was delighted at first. Then, his expression changed slightly. No, once I enter, I'll be easily discovered by the Overlord level. I've tried it before. Forget about the Overlord level, even the true gods can easily discover me. I know, but there's the stone monument. You can make the stone monument cooperate with you, but... The cat suddenly burst into tears. Big drops of tears fell. He was really crying. But this time, I lost a lot of things. No matter how much I use the stone monument, it'll break. Liar, I'm not doing it anymore. The cat was crying. I'm not doing it anymore. He had already lost 20 divine weapons. If he lost another one, it would be 30. 3 realms divine weapons, other than the ones he still had, he did not have that many left. The liar could not afford it. As for how 20 plus 1 was equal to 30, the cat was too lazy to explain. He was illiterate and did not know how to count. Of course, he had the final say. Seeing the cat's tears, Fang Ping was stunned. Was it necessary? You're a cat who's lived for tens of thousands of years. Do you need to cry? This crying. I'm almost in a daze. Fang Ping hurriedly comforted him. If it breaks, then it breaks. I'll give it to you in the future. It's just a divine weapon, so what? If it doesn't work, I still have a few here. If I don't need them in the future, I'll give them to you. Liar! The cat had a look of disbelief. Those belonged to those fellows. Why would they give them to him? Also, did they really think that it was easy to deceive just because I was illiterate? What did he mean by giving them to him if he didn't need them? Even emperors could use them. The cat's face was full of displeasure, but it still muttered. All right then. You guys come to me. Also, I don't know how to fight or poke people. Find someone to poke them to death yourself. Fang Ping's origin was naturally not as strong as that of an emperor level. Even if he managed to sneak in, he could not kill an emperor level. Fang Ping thought about it. Whatever, he would try it first. Even if he could not find anyone to help him, poking a few true gods to death would do. Listening to the cat's tone, with this stone monument and his ability, he might be able to sneak into a true god's origin space quietly. He could not kill an emperor level, but a true god, with Old Wang and the rest, he might be able to do it. Old Wang and the rest's willpower was still alright, but could these fellows appear in the origin space? It seemed like they could not do it if they had not stepped out of the origin path. Fang Ping did not care about this anymore. After asking where the cat was, he quickly came back to his senses and let Old Wang lead the team. There was no other reason. In the sea, how would he know if he would get lost? At this moment, Fang Ping had entered the Forbidden Sea. The seawater corrosion was not too serious. Iron Head had the divine armor, so it was not a big deal. It was the same for Old Wang. His vitality force felt like a fish in water in the sea. This was somewhat consistent with Fang Ping's previous guess that the Forbidden Sea was related to Old Wang. Perhaps after Old Wang died in battle, his blood had flowed into the Forbidden Sea. As for Old Yao, he was the most miserable. His golden body was badly corroded, and Fang Ping could only constantly replenish him with imperishable substance. Previously, he was left with 500 million points of imperishable substance. After the fusion battle, there were only about 300 million points left now. Fang Ping was worried. This bit of wealth was not enough. Entering someone else's origin world would consume wealth points, and the consumption would be huge. We'll talk about it when we get there. At this time, Fang Ping could only go and meet up with the cat. As for Old Zhang and the rest, everyone was watching them now. Fang Ping did not want to add to their troubles. In the sky above the Forbidden Sea, the powerhouses were still fighting. At this moment, Zhang Tao had already met up with Gong Zhangzi, the Dragon Emperor, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, and Heavenly Emperor Black Season. In addition to Warlord's current strength, as well as that elder ancestor of the Shao clan, the humans still had the power to fight. However, there were more powerhouses chasing after them. Gong Zhangzi could not help but send a voice transmission. King Wu, must we go this way? Now that the Tao is in turmoil, maybe it's safer to go somewhere else. I want to try my luck, Zhang Tao said weakly. Maybe we can reach the sky in a single bound? Seniors, I am already very grateful that you can help the humans this time. At this moment, I will not be courteous with you. Send us to the place where the Tao chaos is erupting, and you can leave. There is no need to fight them to the end. If your lives are in danger, you can also retreat in advance. The few of them did not say anything. If their lives were really in danger, they would not really stay. It was okay to help the humans, but to fight to the end, they did not have that kind of friendship. Zhang Tao wanted to try his luck, but they did not know what to say. At this moment, he still wanted to fight. Did he have a chance? However, they could not stay calm about the temptation of becoming martial emperors. Maybe it was better for Zhang Tao to go this way, and they could also go and have a look. If Zhang Tao really went in another direction with the humans, then they would also be in a dilemma. Should they help the humans or go to the place where the explosion occurred? As they spoke, they kept turning back to attack. Fate King and the others, together with more than 10 venerable sovereigns, were following behind them, constantly consuming their energy. While they were still hurrying in that direction, several Heavenly King stage powerhouses had quickly arrived at the place where the explosion occurred. Seeing the collapse of this place, King Kun's eyes lit up. He looked around and said in a low voice, "The celestial source exploded here." As soon as he said those words, he punched out, and a shattered passageway appeared in the air. Looking at the passage, King Kun immediately cursed. "Damn it! The passage is broken! The passage leading to the 9 heavens!" At this moment, Li Zhu also looked around and said faintly, "This passage? I think I've heard of it before." King Qian was also surprised. He said, "Yes, I've heard of it. The Divine Emperor once used the Divine Emperor Ho to open a passage leading to the 9 heavens. He wanted to open an herb garden outside the 9 heavens. In the heaven realm, with the heavenly hound and the heavenly cat, the good herbs couldn't grow at all." At the mention of these two, everyone's eyes lit up. These two fellas were indeed not good people. In the past, when they were in the heaven realm, they caused chaos in the world. Whoever had good food or useful things had to be guarded against them. The Divine Emperor's only hobby was to cultivate some natural treasures. The current Demon Plant clan was closely related to the Divine Emperor. A demon plant, the first demon plant to become a god, seemed to have been cultivated by the God Emperor. Demon beasts had emperors, but demon plants didn't have emperors. However, in that era, the Demon Plant clan wasn't without a backer. The Divine Emperor was their backer. King Zhen didn't want to talk about this. He said in a low voice, "This passage is said to have been destroyed in the ancient times. The celestial source was placed outside the 9 heavens. The Divine Emperor sealed this passage and destroyed it. How could it appear now?" Everyone didn't know why it was like this. The few heavenly kings stood in the void, their eyes glowing as they scanned the surroundings. At this moment, they could still see the celestial source outside the 9 heavens through that broken passage. They were also tempted, but they soon became dispirited. This was the 9 heavens. It was fine if the passage was still there. Without it, they would have to endure the pressure of the 9 heavens. Breaking the 9 heavens was not something they could do. Back then, the Emperor of Batian could break the 9 heavens with one punch. They didn't have this ability. A Heavenly King powerhouse's vitality was extremely strong. The weakest one had a vitality of 5 million calories. However, this was the kind that was comparable to a rank 9. The strong ones were even stronger. For a powerhouse like the Subduing King, who could fight 1 against 2, it was hard to guess how strong he was. However, could the Subduing King break the 9 heavens? At the first heavens, shattering required 150,000 calories of vitality. 15, 30, 60, 120. At the seventh heavens, even without accumulating, shattering also required 6 million calories of vitality. At the ninth heavens, that terrifying and shocking 4 million calories of vitality was comparable to a rank 9. It was comparable to a desperate state's 2 million calories. Of course, at the level of an extreme path heavenly emperor, the vitality would still transform and not need so much. However, no matter what, it was not something that a few heavenly king powerhouses could break the 9 heavens. Looking at the broken passage, the few heavenly king powerhouses were filled with regret. It was broken. All these years, it was not that no one had looked for it, but they could not find it at all. Now, the first heavens was already in chaos. It was occupied by some powerhouses' source spaces. The space was chaotic. Sometimes, they could not even find the second heavens. Not to mention the ones above. Now that this path that led directly to the 9 heavens had appeared, this was the greatest opportunity since the heavenly realm shattered. But now, it was gone. At this moment, Li Zhu said softly, "Why would a passage opened by the Divine Emperor suddenly appear here?" Having said that, he looked at a place not far away. That was where the heavenly realm ruins were originally located. However, the door was moved away by Tseng Mao. This heavenly realm ruins seemed to have been moved away. Even so, they still had some sense of the space shattering. These people were too familiar with the heavenly realm. King Qian frowned and said, "This place seems to have had heavenly realm fragments before. It's not just heavenly realm fragments." King Kuan, the young-looking heavenly king, held a seal in his hand and murmured, "I feel an unusual aura here. My heavenly king's seal was acting strangely just now." "Me too." King Sun and King Zhen took out their heavenly king's seals. This time, they looked at each other and in the next moment they shouted, "9 Emperor's Seal! Heavenly Court's Jade Seal!" Although the name was different, they did not care. They looked at each other, and their expressions changed. At this moment, the 2 heavenly kings should be the weakest here. The 2 heavenly kings did not speak, but they transmitted their voices. 9 Emperor's Seal? Heavenly Court's Orthodox! Heavenly Herb! Monarch Tianming's eyes were bright as he transmitted his voice. "This thing is not only the Heavenly Court's Orthodox, but it is said that it can fuse the 8 heavenly kings' seals and the 36 saints' tokens. Once it is fused, it will be the #1 divine artifact in the 3 realms. There is even a rumor that, after fusing with this item, one may obtain the inheritance of several emperors. Heavenly Court's Jade Seal. The inheritance of the 9 emperors. If the 9 emperors blocked the way, could it be that they blocked their own path as well? If the 9 emperors were really dead, they might be able to become emperors by following their path. However, the 9 emperors' seal disappeared when the heavenly realm was destroyed. Moreover, the 36 saints and 8 heavenly kings were rumored to have died. Because of this, no one thought about this for the past few years. It was too difficult. Who could collect these things? A total of 45 seals. The 9 emperors' seal was a godly weapon. Although the heavenly king's seal was not a real godly weapon, it was still a semi-godly weapon. Moreover, there were 36 seals. Collecting all of these would be 10 times or even 100 times more difficult than finding the seed of rebirth. But now, the most crucial 9 emperors' seals seemed to have appeared. Among the 8 heavenly king's seals, Qian, Kun, Sun, and Zhen were all here. Heavenly King Jin. That meant there were 5 heavenly king's seals here. Among the 36 saints, there were 3 under King Kun. As for the other 36 saints' tokens, it was said that some venerable emperors had collected some by chance. This way, it would be much easier to find the other seals. Moreover, it was said that the 9 emperors' seal was the foundation. Once they found the 9 emperors' seal, they might be able to find the other seals quickly. They were tempted. At this time, Heavenly King Jin was also going crazy. "If I had known, If I had known that the 9 Emperor's seal was in this cat's hands, I would have swindled it no matter what. This cat is dumb, how would it know the importance of the 9 Emperor's seal? Maybe I could exchange it with some food. Heavenly King Jin did not know whether to laugh or cry. 9 Emperor's seal. This was the symbol of the heavenly court. The 9 emperors had been blessed by this seal. Not only that, the 9 Emperor's seal was more important than imagined. Especially to Zhang Tao. If Zhang Tao obtained the 9 Emperor's seal, he might not only be able to merge with the Tao of the human realm, but also walk the Tao of the 3 realms. Of course, there was only hope. But even a little bit of hope was an amazing opportunity. Where did this cat get this thing from? After the war, did this guy sweep through the heavenly realm? So many broken divine weapons, plus the 9 Emperor's seal. The key is that this cat doesn't cultivate or fight. It only knows how to sleep. Why does it need so many divine weapons? What a waste. At this moment, Heavenly King Jin was a little crazy. Did those sovereigns and extreme Tao heavenly emperors think about it? Did they think that after they died, someone collected many of their belongings, but did not use them to increase their strength in battle, but to keep them as a collection? Who would have so many divine weapons, even if they were broken, keep them as a trump card? The cat had definitely not used them all these years, and did not even take them out. Otherwise, especially when the 9 Emperor's seal appeared, they would more or less sense it. Cat! Heavenly King Jin looked around. Where did the cat go? This place had the aura of the 9 Emperor's seal and the aura of the heavenly realm fragments. Did this cat really help them open the ruins of the war? I told you to make a trap, and you actually opened the heavenly tomb? There were not just one heavenly realm fragment, there were many. But there was only one place called the heavenly tomb. The place where the war was the most tragic, the place where sovereigns and extreme Tao heavenly emperors fell, and even fell there. It was also the core of the heavenly court. This was the real heavenly tomb. All these years, it seemed like only Heavenly Dog had found this place back then, but he still died there. The cat wouldn't have opened this place, right? Heavenly King Jin did not know what to say. Zhang Tao, we have set it up for so long, if the cat really opened the heavenly tomb, then it's over. Heavenly King Jin smiled bitterly in his heart. It was really over. Because the heavenly tomb really had fortuitous opportunities. Becoming an emperor might not be impossible. Even if they did not become an emperor, heavenly king powerhouses might improve further. Once these heavenly kings became stronger, it would be big trouble. It was originally a trap, but now it might be giving opportunities to the enemy. The two were completely different, and there would be great changes. Heavenly King Jin was extremely helpless. It was all this old man's fault for underestimating the cat. This cat was messing around. Although it was rumored that it knew where the heavenly tomb was, the heavenly tomb was actually moving. Who knew where it was now? He did not even think of asking again. Even if he asked, the cat might not say. But now it was opened. He now had some doubts. Was the 9 Emperor's seal not in the hands of the cat, and was it originally in the heavenly tomb? He thought of the heavenly tomb, and the others more or less thought about it, and their eyes flickered. The heavenly tomb, the 9 Emperor's seal, the remains of sovereigns, the remains of extreme Tao heavenly emperor, the passage to the immortal origin. It was originally just a scheme, but now, maybe the great Tao of Emperor Ascension really appeared. King Kun suddenly looked at Unquestionable Jian and said calmly, Unquestionable Jian, you have been to the heavenly tomb before. What appeared here just now was the heavenly tomb. Unquestionable Jian said indifferently, I have been to the heavenly tomb once, but I only looked at the periphery for a while and obtained some fortuitous opportunities. The inner periphery is too dangerous, and it is not something I could enter back then. After that, the heavenly tomb disappeared, and it could no longer be found. As for what appeared here, Unquestionable Jian paused before saying, I do not know. There is the aura of the heaven realm, but the explosion of the great Tao destroyed many traces. Whether it is the heavenly tomb or other fragments, I do not know. When he said this, no one questioned him. Indeed, it was hard to tell now. But this was a rare opportunity, and no one was willing to miss it. They did not say much and disappeared on the spot, searching for the heavenly tomb. Especially King Kuan, he was the most concerned about this. He was the son of the earthly sovereign. Was the earthly sovereign dead or alive? If he was dead, would the great Tao still have an inheritance? As the son of the earthly sovereign, once he encountered it, he might be able to directly inherit the great Tao and become an emperor. These people were searching. As for the gray cat, it had already run far away. At this moment, it had just met up with Fan Ping and the rest. The gray cat carried the door with the big cat pattern. This time, it was really tired and panting. It was not carrying a door, but a piece of the heavenly realm fragment. Liar! Seeing Fan Ping, the gray cat's eyes were red. This time, it was too pitiful. The loss was too great, and it was unbearably tired. The gray cat felt wronged and whined. I'm dying! I'm really done for! I lost 30 divine weapons, and I've lost tens of thousands of caddies. The corner of Fan Ping's mouth twitched. I don't really understand your quantifier. What did you mean by 30 divine weapons? What did you mean by losing tens of thousands of caddies? However, seeing the gray cat, Fan Ping also panted heavily, suddenly feeling a lot more relaxed. Although this cat was not reliable, it could still survive. After living for a long time, following it suddenly felt much safer. Fan Ping suddenly felt a little sad. It was bad enough that he relied on humans, but now he wanted to rely on a cat, and a lazy cat at that. He was living too pitifully. Thinking of this, Fan Ping began to ravage the gray cat's big head, but his mouth said, Big cat, it's okay. I'll make it up to you in the future. When you come out, I'll return it all to you. Really? Of course. Meow. You said it. The gray cat was happy. It would remember it. Fan Ping saw it happy and suddenly felt a little uneasy. He could not help but say, You want to go in? If you don't go in, you might not be able to lure others in. Go in. The gray cat lifted its head, its fat face full of curiosity. It did not say that it would not go in. Hearing it say that, Fan Ping breathed a sigh of relief, but he still felt that something was wrong. This cat agreed so quickly. Moreover, it was so happy just now. Who knew when they would come out? The gray cat, on the other hand, began to calculate in its heart. The liar had agreed so quickly, but it was going to go out tomorrow. Where could he find so many things to compensate it? Should he detain little chubby face? Let the liar use divine weapons to ransom people. When he had enough divine weapons, when would he let people go? This man and cat, at this time, were both daydreaming. As for Tai Tu and the other two, they were staring at the door, a little dumbfounded. This cat was either a cat nor a tiger. Could it really make people believe that this place was a good place? P.S. I'm promoting a fantasy novel. The Walking God. Written by a girl. Brothers, you can go read it. Chapter 1004. At this moment, Fan Ping was also looking at the door. Fan Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry when he saw the old cat on the door with the word King on its forehead. What was this cat thinking? Your cat is much more famous than the tiger, right? Is there a need to pretend to be a tiger? Is this your trap? The cat nodded its head and said in a wrong tone, I'm so tired. Thank you for your hard work. Fan Ping gave a perfunctory reply. It was good to lose some weight. Then, he asked again, Is one door enough? No, there's a small world inside. Small world? Understanding dawned on Fan Ping. Directly to the space battlefield? As he said that, without waiting for the cat's reply, Fan Ping continued, A regular space battlefield won't do. There are too many powerhouses this time, including many Heavenly King powerhouses. I don't think it's possible to trap them without the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors. This time, there were too many experts. If he wanted to trap these people, Even if old Zhang wanted to add a divine artifact shield, it might not be possible. There's no need to go through so much trouble. Besides, they might not even be willing to leave, the old cat muttered. I threw a lot of divine artifacts in there. The seal of the 9 emperors is the deepest. This cat is very good at hiding things. At that time, they would all be looking for something. How would they have the time to go out? If they couldn't find it, they would definitely not leave. Despite thinking about it, the cat said, Don't worry, they won't be able to get out. The spatial battlefield inside seems to be the origin world of a heavenly king, which overlaps with the first and second heavens. It's very powerful now. The realm battlefield has always been stronger than the source world when one is alive. Even if one is stronger than when one is alive, one might not be able to get out. The formation of the space battlefield wasn't just a single origin world, but also a combination of spatial energy. Otherwise, the owner of the space battlefield in the king's battlefield would not have been so powerful when he was alive. However, in the war between the North and the South, there were many sages who participated in the battle, but they still could not break through that place. A heavenly king's stage powerhouse had fallen, and the resulting spatial battlefield was something that even a few heavenly kings working together might not be able to break through. Furthermore, they might not even want to leave. The cat was not too worried about that. Then, he muttered, Besides, this place has fused with a fragment of the heavenly realm, making it even more powerful. Back then, when the fragment of the heaven realm fell here, the heaven realm was very stable. In the past, even a single emperor might not be able to break it. The destruction of the heaven realm was caused by more than one emperor realm ranker. Moreover, it was a fight to the death. This was what caused the heavenly realm to shatter. Even though it was only a small fragment, it was still incomparably large and boundless. Ordinary emperor-level powerhouses might not even be able to destroy the buildings and spaces in this fragment. Heavenly realm fragment. Fang Ping was stunned for a moment. He recalled what happened earlier and asked hurriedly, Have you really activated Emperor Path? Nope. The cat shook its head innocently. It was all an accident. However, the cat had actually sensed something. At this moment, it was a little embarrassed and whispered, But the Great Path seems to have loosened a little. In the catacombs, a part of the Great Path that was concealed seems to have been pierced by me. The old cat once said that someone had concealed the catacombs' Great Path. Therefore, in the catacombs, the Great Paths were more blurry. Many powerhouses felt that the end was right in front of them, or they might as well walk to the end themselves. Of course, the other party wasn't blocking the door, nor did he have the strength to do so. Perhaps the person who concealed the Great Path was still terrifyingly strong. Fan Ping could not help but ask, Was unquestionable the one who concealed the Great Path back then? The old cat said that the Great Path had been concealed, but it had not been that many years. It seemed to be after the North-South War. In recent years, the biggest event was unquestionable the sword's attack on the catacombs 1,000 years ago. The cat shook its head and thought for a while. Even if Little Sword has the strength of a heavenly king, it can't be concealed. If you want to do this, it's best to be like the fake emperor, who can explore the catacombs' myriad paths. At this moment, a name suddenly appeared in Fang Ping's mind, Li Zhu. Could it be Li Zhu's doing? To conceal the Great Path, one must have some understanding of the catacombs' myriad paths. Ordinary people could not do it. However, there was a kind of person who could do it. The kind of emperor of a realm. For example, the human race's emperor path, the catacombs' earthly emperor path. Powerhouses who took these paths would have some understanding of other paths because most of them were the kind where the myriad paths converged. In the catacombs, they had actually taken this path earlier than Zhang Tao. Their cities in the outland, the 4 royal courts, many dynasties, and divine sects were actually all taking this path. In recent years, the most successful lord of the 4 royal courts was actually Li Zhu. However, Li Zhu had only become a lord for a few years. Fan Ping was not too sure if it was done by him. If it was done by him, then the changes should have happened in recent years. Although he was not too sure, now that this kind of concealment seemed to have been broken, there was no point in looking back. Fan Ping was more concerned about something else. He asked hurriedly, "If this kind of concealment is broken, what will happen? Will the powerhouses in the catacombs be stronger?" "They might," the cat said sheepishly. "Some people used to feel that they had reached the end and had no way to go. Now they might discover the path ahead and continue on." The cat was even more sheepish. This time, when it hit the immortal source, it did not expect it to explode this layer of fog. However, the cat quickly added, "However, the human world will also become stronger. Back then, the immortal source actually absorbed the energy of the entire human world. Now that the immortal source is in turmoil and the energy is overflowing, the human world's energy will overflow. Very soon, the human world will be full of energy." Fan Ping looked at it in surprise. He could not help but ask, "Didn't you forget? Why do you remember so much now?" The cat said gloomily, "It's all because you guys force me to do it. You guys make me work every day. Every time, I don't use my brain and don't know how to do it. I'm also very depressed. I can only think and think until my head is about to explode. Isn't that why I remember so many things?" At this time, Wang Jinyang said, "We'll talk about this later. What we need to do now is to lure those people in. Minister Zhang and the rest are still being surrounded. This place has to be opened as soon as possible." Right now, most of those powerhouses were rushing toward the place where the explosion had just occurred. They were still some distance away. The reason why Zhang Tao asked the cat to do this was to lure more people out. By the time those people arrived, the trap would have already been closed. Fan Ping heard this and nodded. "At least we need to delay for 20 minutes to give other powerhouses time to react. In 20 minutes, I think the powerhouses should have arrived." As Fan Ping said that, he added, "But we have to create some danger. The dignified celestial realm remains as so safe. If it were me, I would feel that something is wrong. We have to make them feel that it's very dangerous. Sometimes people are just so contradictory. Riches come from danger. If you were not in danger, he might not believe you if you gave him benefits out of thin air." As Fan Ping said that, he quickly calculated for a while and said, "Big cat, give me the stone monument. As for you, don't show yourself first. When it's a critical moment, show yourself and say in surprise, 'How did the heavenly cemetery end up here?' Then rush in." The cat stared at him with wide eyes. Fan Ping continued, "You're a big lazy cat. You won't do anything that's not beneficial or dangerous. Only when you, the cat, go in will others think that there are really benefits to this place, and that it's not too dangerous." The cat felt wronged. "You're the big lazy cat. By the way, when you speak, it's best to add some other things. For example, what's the smell of some artifact? What's the smell of some emperor?" And so on. Fan Ping taught Sun Mao how to fake it. Don't exaggerate your expression too much. Remember to arrive at the right time. It's best to say that you've smelled some treasures. You're hungry and want to eat. Old Wang and the other two just stared at him. At this critical moment, this guy was teaching the cat how to perform. That was enough. The cat also looked at him foolishly, as if he was listening to the lesson seriously. He was not impatient at all. Instead, he felt that it was quite profound. It looked like he was even interested in exploring the essence of acting. This time, they were even more speechless. That was enough. Also, this door is a little too obvious. But rumor has it that you know where the heavenly cemetery is. It doesn't matter if there's a Dao door, but... At this point, Fan Ping paused and said slowly, "This time, Unquestionable Sword has appeared." Fan Ping looked at the cat. Unquestionable Sword had been to the heavenly cemetery. Otherwise, he would not have been able to get Heavenly Emperor Zhan's heart. It was said that before he went to the heavenly cemetery, he did not have emperor-level strength. He was only a true god-level martial artist. It was because he went to the heavenly cemetery that Unquestionable Sword became stronger, and appeared in the North-South War later. Fan Ping was more worried that the cat would run to Unquestionable Sword's side after meeting it. After all, this man and cat had a deep friendship. It was said that they had been together for hundreds of years. Fan Ping and Jiang Tao had only known the cat for a short period of time. Fan Ping did not wait for the cat to speak. He continued, "He met me earlier and asked me to tell you that humans are humans and demons are demons. Humans have emotions, demons should be emotionless. You are a demon, so you should be emotionless." Oh. The cat's reaction was rather flat. Fan Ping was stunned. The next moment, the cat said blankly, "I'm not a demon." The four of them were stunned. "Are you hallucinating? You are not a demon, but are we?" The cat said innocently. "I'm not a demon in the first place. Demons are actually created by others. It's a little artificial. I'm not like that. Big Dog and I are not considered demons. We're not the same species." The cat was very depressed. Demons were emotionless. What did it have to do with him? Little Sword's words were strange. Fan Ping was stunned for a moment. He could not help but say, "That's not the point. The point is that Unquestionable Sword has appeared. Big Cat, if you betray us at this crucial moment, not only will we fail at the last step. I'm afraid that humans will really have no way out. Once the cat appeared and exposed this trap, humans would not be able to survive. It could be said that the key to this big gamble was still the cat." It was fine if Unquestionable Sword did not appear. Fan Ping was not worried. However, Unquestionable Sword had appeared. He felt a little uneasy. The cat was not as conflicted as he was. It mumbled, "Little Sword won't die. Also, there are so many people. It's so uncomfortable to think of me every day. I'll just lock them all up." As for Unquestionable Sword, even if it went in, it would not die. It would just be locked up for a few days. The cat was not too conflicted. As for Fan Ping's worry that it would betray him, the cat said pitifully again, "I've lost 40 to 50 divine weapons. I won't stop, huh?" Fan Ping was stunned again. "How much? When you came just now you said 30? I don't know, so I won't say anything. Now you're raising the price in front of me? This cat is very naughty. I often use this trick. I used it the best on Qin Feng Qin, creating something out of nothing. In the end, even Qin Feng Qin himself was confused. The key thing is you, the cat, are playing this trick with me?" Fan Ping said without batting an eyelid. "Fine. But let's come to an agreement now. From now on, the divine weapons you gave me are considered gifts, not loans. How about this? The God-slaying saber and the stone tablet are considered gifts from you. How about that?" Fan Ping added, "I already owe you 40 to 50 divine weapons. These two are considered extras. When you shop online, people will give you small gifts when you buy a lot. I've bought so much. It's not a problem for you to give me 2 broken divine weapons as extras, right?" The cat stared at him with wide eyes. What he said made sense, but something was not right. When I shop, I get gifts when I buy a lot. But those are cat food. These are divine weapons, Fan Ping continued. Also, lend your fishing rod to old Zhang for a while. Return the Sky Destroyer to old Wang. You said that the stone tablet is old Yao's. Consider it as returning it to old Yao. No! The cat exploded. Its tail stood up high. The liar wanted to cheat it of its divine weapons. And it wasn't just one, he had to trick a lot of them. It was done! Also, the Sky Destroyer is its, not Heavenly Emperor Zhan's. Heavenly Emperor Zhan is dead! At the thought of this, the cat immediately explained. Zhan Du is dead. It's gone. He's dead, so the Sky Destroyer is ownerless. Whatever I picked up is mine. Wang Jinyan did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said hurriedly, "You don't have to give it to me. The God of War Bao is enough for me now. I can't handle 2 divine weapons." He could not even control 1 divine weapon now, let alone 2. Wang Jinyan said helplessly, All right. Let's discuss what to do next. There are too many powerhouses on the Forbidden Sea now. Although we're hiding here, we might bump into someone soon. Let's arrange it as soon as possible. Fan Ping was very anxious before, but now he was not. Fan Ping was not too anxious. There was no use in being anxious. Every time something big happened, he had to be calm. Right now, he was still quite calm. He needed some time. He had to give all the powerhouses time to gather. Otherwise, even if he opened this celestial realm fragment now, he would not be able to catch all of them in one go. If a few venerable emperors who were hostile to humans were left behind, then humans would be in even more danger. They would not even have the power to resist. As for the few true gods left behind, Fan Ping was not too worried. Although humans might not be able to defeat them, there were very few true gods left behind. All the forces were mixed up, and the leaders had disappeared. At this time, Fan Ping did not believe that they could quickly reach a consensus. Fan Ping was confident that he could deal with individual true gods who targeted humans. His goal this time was to get rid of those emperor-level leaders. As for those old antiques who were hiding in the depths, Fan Ping could not do anything if they did not show up for such a big matter. Since they did not even care about the opportunity to become an emperor, Fan Ping could only assume that they were waiting for death. After waiting for so many years, their lifespans were almost at the end. At this time, Emperor Avenue might have opened, but they did not come. What else could they do other than waiting for death? After weighing the pros and cons in his heart, Fan Ping looked at the conspicuous door, looked at the cat, and said, "Shove the door into the space rift first." As he said that, he added, "Around, create more space rifts. It's best if they can cause a certain amount of damage to the true gods, so that they can focus their attention on the danger of the space rifts. Also, can the cat portrait on the door only appear when they are within a few meters of it?" The cat looked at him and said blankly, "Why is it so troublesome?" Fan Ping smiled and said, "Divert their attention, divert their attention. Among these people, there will definitely be someone who will explore the way first, and it won't be an emperor level, only a true god. At this time, the space rifts will make him vigilant. When he thinks that he has overcome the crisis and sees the door, but suddenly sees a cat, do you think he will be shocked, or focus all his attention on this, thinking that there is a chance or a trap?" Fan Ping said with assurance. "And at that moment, I will break into the other party's source world and destroy his source world. Wouldn't that be easier?" The few of them looked at him again. This was an application of psychology. Fan Ping should not be a martial artist. Fan Ping did not care about this. He said coldly, "This time, they have killed so many human powerhouses. How can they not kill more people? Besides, if they go in, humans will be in danger too. One less true god means one less danger. If the other party keeps probing, I will let all their true gods die." Of course, this possibility was not high. The cat also muttered, "The small stone monument can only be used 5 or 6 times. It can't kill so many people. It could still be used a few more times before, but it had used this to break into old Zhang's source world, which had already caused the stone monument to crack." Fan Ping remembered that the cat once said that there seemed to be 33 divine weapons. He did not know how many divine weapons would be destroyed after this. Thinking of this, Fan Ping remembered that the cat said that he owed it 40 to 50 divine weapons. His face darkened again. How did this cat learn to count? There were only so many divine weapons. He already had 4 on his side, and Moon's spirit had 2. He did not know if the others still had them. In the past, he heard that the Heavenly King's seal was also a divine weapon, calculating, even if the cat took all the remaining divine weapons, there would not be so many. This cat was becoming more and more naughty. There was no time to dwell on this. While letting the cat set up the scene, Fan Ping said, "Big cat, the stone monument and the god-slaying saber can be given to me as extras. Is that okay?" "Meow. Don't meow like a cat. I'm a cat," the cat retorted. "If I don't meow like a cat, am I supposed to meow like a human? Then I'll take it as a yes. Meow. Okay, you agree. Fang Ping quickly looked at the system panel. He needed wealth now. Not only for himself, but he also needed to give a portion to human powerhouses at the last minute. He did not know how dangerous it would be for these people to go in this time. A group of heavenly kings was locked inside. Who knew what would happen next? The 500,000 yuan of imperishable substance given to old Zhang seemed to have been used up. Right now, many human powerhouses were in a state of serious injury. When they went inside, the space battlefield had no energy to recover. As for whether the celestial realm fragments could provide energy, how much it could provide, these were all unknown. In any case, the more imperishable substance, the better. The cat was still unwilling to give away divine weapons as extras, but it could not resist Fang Ping's promise of benefits. When it came out, there would be delicious food and drinks, everything it wanted. Old Wang and the others were a little doubtful. Fang Ping kept making empty promises. Could it really come true? The trap was set up very quickly. The door was hidden in the space rift. Around it, dark cracks spread all over the void. It was extremely dangerous. At this time, Fang Ping also saw the increase in his wealth. The cat must have agreed. Otherwise, there would not be an increase in wealth. Wealth 8. 2 billion points vitality. 219,999 calories. 219,999 calories. Mentality. 9,955 Hz. 10,455 Hz. 9955 Hz. Unbreakable. Destruction power. 85 yuan. 85 yuan. Origin. Stage 1. Increase 9% plus 30%. Storage space. 10,000 cubic meters, plus, energy shield. 1 point/minute, plus, aura simulation. 10 points/minute, plus, origin detailed analysis. 10-100 million points/time, an increase of 8 billion wealth points. Of the 2 broken divine weapons, the stone monument was in Fang Ping's hands. He realized that it was cracked beyond recognition. Even so, it still increased by 8 billion points. Fang Ping was a little scared. He knew that divine weapons were valuable, but he did not expect the value of a broken one to be so high. If this was a complete one, did that not mean that his system might directly enter upgrade mode? That would be the end. 8 billion points, 80 trillion. The stone monument was broken beyond recognition. Its value was probably not high. The half-broken god-slaying saber had at least increased Fang Ping's wealth by 6 billion points. If it was complete, it would at least exceed 10 billion points. It was worth more than 100 trillion. Of course, at this point, there was no need to measure it with money. However, a rank 9 divine weapon was worth less than 100 billion. A divine weapon was worth at least more than 1,000 rank 9 divine weapons. Fang Ping calculated and felt relieved. Divine weapons were not comparable to rank 9 divine weapons. Hundreds of trillion was considered cheap. Maybe a complete one was even more expensive. Who knew how big the difference was between a complete one and a half-broken one? 8 billion points. Fang Ping heaved a huge sigh of relief. If he converted all of them into imperishable substances, he would have more than 800,000 yuan of imperishable substances. If old Zhang had not self-destructed so much, 500,000 yuan would be enough for the top human beings to fight a few big battles. Now, I'm inviting you into the trap. After setting up the trap, Fang Ping did not stay any longer. He quickly dove into the forbidden sea with old Wang and the rest. At the bottom of the sea, Fang Ping quickly drilled a hole, extending all the way down. The cat followed along. Watching them skillfully operating it, its face was full of interest. Drilling a hole seemed quite fun. Did he not drill a hole in it too? Fang Ping drilled a hole while saying, "Big cat, lend me the divine peeking mirror for a while. I want to spy on the situation at the trap." "Don't worry, this doesn't belong to you. After you appear, you can take it away. See if old John needs it at the crucial moment." If he does, help him break the projection gate. Fan Ping did not know if there were other people's great paths in the projection gate. He also did not know if this was necessary. No matter what, it was better to be prepared. If he really needed it, at least the cat could do it. The cat wagged its tail. It wanted to exert its strength again, and use the divine peeking mirror to break that whatever door. Thinking of this, it mumbled, "Then you'll owe me more divine weapons. 50 or 60. Fan Ping did not care what it said. For people who were not good at math, adding 1 would be adding 10. It would not be surprising if it became 100 later. The key was 100 divine weapons was not a big deal. 1 truck of snacks should not be a problem, right? It was just a matter of 100 trucks of snacks. It was not a big deal. Very soon, Fan Ping drilled a deep hole at the bottom of the sea and filled up the passageway. The few of them hid in the depths of the sea. The cat took out the divine peeking mirror and aimed it at the door in the crack. The mirror showed an image. As for the cat, Fan Ping was not in a hurry to let it leave. They would hide here first. Maybe he would need the cat's help later. At this moment, the only thing they needed to do was to wait. When old Zhang felt that it was about time, they could let the cat activate the trap in this place. Chapter 1005. Forbidden Sea. On this day, the taboo sea was boiling and tumbling. There were people living on some of the 33 immortal islands, but at this moment, they were all trembling in fear. The sky had changed. There had never been a day in the Forbidden Sea where waves soared to the sky like today. This was no ordinary wave. At this moment, there were some demons in the sea. Many demons usually had no problem surviving in the sea, but today, they were constantly being eroded by the roiling seawater. Many demons screamed miserably as they rapidly died and merged into the sea. The seawater became even redder. Phew! The Battle King panted heavily as he held Zhang Tao in his arms, whose face was devoid of blood. His heart was filled with worry. "Kid, can you still hold on?" Zhang Tao ignored him. He was still thinking about something. Soon, he asked, "How long will it take to get to the place where the explosion happened?" "About 10 minutes. After all, the War King and the others couldn't compare to those heavenly kings. If they wanted to rush over, they still needed time. 9 minutes later, we'll head to the new outbreak site." Zhang Tao transmitted his voice. He would not go to the place where the explosion occurred. There might be many experts rushing over there now. He did not want to be caught like a turtle in a jar. With that in mind, Zhang Tao began to think of the gray cat. He told the cat to wait for the new situation to erupt before they arrived. As for whether the cat could do it or not, the cat seemed to be omnipotent. Old Zhang still chose to believe in the cat. Behind them, Fate King and the others continued to bombard the human powerhouses. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation and the others were also helping to resist at this moment. Seeing that these people were about to catch up, the Dragon Transformation Celestial Arch suddenly looked at Zhang Tao and transmitted his voice. "If the humans are not wiped out this time, you have to help this old man take care of the Dragon Transformation Heaven's people. King Wu, how about it?" Zhang Tao saw the killing intent in his eyes, so he said, "Venerable Sovereign, you don't have to do this. You don't have to let others stay behind. No matter what happens to the humans this time, if anyone survives, we will definitely repay you." Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation probably harbored the intention of bringing up the rear. After killing Changrong, he was also dispirited. Right now, he was becoming older and older, most likely not having much lifespan left. Perhaps when this battle ended, his lifespan would also be exhausted. Since that was the case, as a powerhouse who was close to the level of a sage, he could unleash his power once before he died. Zhang Tao did not let him cover the rear, even if Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was the one who suggested it. However, at this stage, humans wouldn't choose to let their assisting powerhouses cover their retreat. If it really came to that, Zhang Tao suddenly looked at the silent Li Jin and transmitted his voice. When the critical moment comes, you'll cover the rear, Li Jin quickly replied. All right. Don't forget to mention that you're a descendant of heavenly kings subduing. With that said, he added, this time, you blew up your second path. It's not a good thing to have two great Daos. Even if I suffer heavy injuries, it might not necessarily be a bad thing. At the critical moment, you might be able to walk my Tao of coalescence. Zhang Tao, cut the crap. Although you aren't suited to lead the human race, your status is still there, and your strength isn't weak either. Everyone else might die, but you have the highest chance of survival. Remember, if the trap doesn't work and can't trap anyone, don't participate in the battle anymore. Leave the last bit of hope for humanity. Zhang Tao made it clear that you are not suited to be a leader, but your status is high enough. You are the descendant of Heaven's subduing king. The subduing heavenly king probably wouldn't die this time, even if the humans suffered a crushing defeat. If that was the case, the probability of his descendants being killed was not high. Those people might not be crazy enough to kill the descendant of Heaven's subduing king at this time, especially a descendant powerhouse like Li Jin whose strength was close to that of an emperor level. In this case, if the Heaven subduing king did not die, those who attacked might not have a good ending. Li Jin's tone was gloomy. Got it. Don't brush me off. Zhang Tao had a bad temper. He said quickly, before the heaven-human barrier is completely opened, before it's clear that all humans must be sacrificed, you still have hope of protecting humanity. Survive these 2 years. Then you, nonsense. If the trap doesn't work, if I don't die, who will? Zhang Tao said calmly. If the trap did not work, even if everyone could survive, he had to die. King Wu was too strong. King Wu was too ruthless. Who could be at ease if such a person did not die? And Fan Ping and the others, if they lose this time, don't let them return to Earth. They can wander around and come back when they're stronger. That's all. Try to preserve some of humanity's ultimate strength. Don't let them all die. Li Jin was silent, not saying a word. Zhang Tao did not say anything either. At this moment, he still had some strength left to suppress the fellow in his body. This time, he might not be able to kill anyone. However, he had killed most of them today. Other than not being able to kill the few leaders of the catacombs, he felt a little regretful. Maybe it's still possible. Zhang Tao looked at the gate of projection in his hand. Were there any Taoist remnants inside this thing? If there were, at the crucial moment, he could forcefully integrate it. Maybe he could explode again. However, at that time, regression Tao would be crippled. If the trap succeeded, he would be completely crippled. It would not be a good thing. Unless the trap fails, I can use the heaven confining bell to trap a few people and forcefully kill them. At least I won't have lived in vain. The heaven confining bell was prepared to be used to block the space battlefield. However, if it was not used, it could also be used to trap people. Maybe he could even kill a few more fellows. Zhang Tao turned around and looked at the Life King and the others. He sneered. Life King, you clowns! Today, you're having fun hunting. Be careful that you won't live to the end and be buried with me, Zhang Tao. The Life King was indifferent. He said coldly, if you don't die, I'll fall into your hands sooner or later. If you really have the ability to drag me down with you, I won't regret it. You can see it clearly, Zhang Tao said with a smile. Actually, I don't understand. The humans in your Heaven Fate Royal Court have not fought much in these years. Why do you have to be the one to stand out? The Life King did not speak. Zhang Tao smiled and did not speak anymore. He continued to look forward. Ahead, waves surged. Vaguely, figures of powerhouses flashed. The eyes of the Life King and the others were solemn. At this moment, there seemed to be many powerhouses rushing over. Some of them had not been seen before. At this moment, a crack appeared in the sky above the Forbidden Sea. The old man who appeared in the swamp previously stood in the void. He glanced at Zhang Tao and the others and walked forward without looking back. Seeing this person, Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu's expression changed. he said in a low voice. Sage Tian Kuei, the first of the 36 sages. Back then, he was said to have the strength of a heavenly king. Sage Tian Kuei had disappeared for many years and almost never appeared. Everyone thought he was dead. Who would have thought that he would appear today? Now, nearly 10,000 years had passed. What kind of strength did Sage Tian Kuei have? At this moment, the three protectors who were fighting with Moon's spirit also exclaimed, Tian Kuei! Although the 36 sages belonged to different factions, Sage Tian Kuei was still their leader in name. At this moment, seeing Tian Kuei appear, they were especially surprised. He didn't die? As if he had heard the voices of these people, the old man, who was already far away, turned his head back and looked at the three sect protectors. He said indifferently, This old man has no intention of getting involved in this. The 36 sages are already a thing of the past. With that, he disappeared in an instant. At this moment, even Moon's spirit did not say anything. She had no entanglement with Sage Tian Kuei. Moreover, this old man probably had the strength of a heavenly king. He gave her a lot of pressure. Even if she had 2 divine weapons, she might not be able to gain an advantage against this person. Sage Tian Kuei disappeared in a flash. In the next moment, another powerhouse passed by. This person was like a madman, laughing nonstop. The Tao is out. Huang, he became a sovereign. Where is the door? The person who came was extremely crazy. His clothes were ragged, his hair was snow white, without luster, messy like weeds. His beard was also messy, and his eyes were lifeless. Seeing this person, Fate Monarch and the others became vigilant again. Another top powerhouse. It's you! At this moment, Moon's spirit had a complicated expression as she shouted, Tian Kuei! The old man seemed to be in a trance. He turned his head and looked at Moon's spirit. After staring for a while, he suddenly said sadly, Moon's spirit! You're still alive! Father is dead, Uncle North King is also dead, the world is in chaos. The old man was crazy, then he became confused again. He murmured, I'm going to become a sovereign! I'm going to become a sovereign! Moon spirit, I'll go first. When I become a sovereign, I'll come find you. Tian Kuei! Moon spirit suddenly felt sad. Had her companions gone crazy as well? The descendants of the 9 sovereigns would sometimes gather. Thinking back to the past, they lived in luxury, invited the powerhouses of the 3 realms, sang and danced to celebrate peace. It was so comfortable. Who would have thought that the elegant Tian Kuei in the past would become like this now? At that time, the Tian Kuei couldn't bear to see the slovenly powerhouses. They had even driven away some unsightly powerhouses, including venerable sovereigns. But now, where had the Tian Kuei been all these years? Moon's spirit felt complicated. The others were also shocked. The first saint of the 36 saints had appeared. There were also a few descendants of the 9 sovereigns. Moon's spirit was a descendant of the North Queen, and King Kun was a descendant of the Earth Queen. Which sovereign was this Tian Kuei descendant? How many secrets were hidden in the 3 realms? This Tian Kuei was very powerful. Even if he didn't have the strength of a heavenly king, he was probably a saint. At this moment, there were powerhouses flashing in all directions. There were more than one of the 36 saints. There were 2 or 3 powerhouses who seemed to be from the 36 saints. At this moment, they didn't care about the 3 guardians, as if they didn't know them. They flashed and disappeared in the blink of an eye. There were ancient rogue cultivators who didn't build a sky beyond heaven or a sect. They were famous in the 3 realms and hadn't appeared for many years. People thought they had died. But now, they appeared one by one. The celestial origin was shaken, causing these powerhouses who had reached the end of their lifespans to appear one after another. Not only human powerhouses, but at this moment, in the Forbidden Sea, huge waves were also rising. A big fish that looked like a kunping was soaring in the sea. No matter how big the waves were, they couldn't stop it at all. The big fish was extremely fast. It ignored the crowd and swam under them. "Sea Guardian!" someone exclaimed again. "Sea Guardian!" When the heavenly court was still around, there was also the Sea of Bitterness. But at that time, the Sea of Bitterness was not so big and dangerous. However, there were many demon clans in the sea. The heavenly court once conferred the title of Sea Guardian to suppress the turmoil of the demon clans in the Sea of Bitterness. When the heavenly realm fell, people thought that the powerhouses in the Sea of Bitterness were affected and died long ago. They didn't expect that Sea Guardian was still alive. Sea Guardian also had the strength of the 36 saints. The 36 saints were the generals of the heavenly realm. Sea Guardian was the overlord of the Sea of Bitterness. He was stronger than the top few of the 36 saints. Seeing this, Zhang Tao murmured, "The three realms are indeed complicated. Looks like we humans aren't the enemy of the entire world." These powerhouses didn't seem to care about their killing in this matter. They were powerful, and others didn't dare to provoke them. At this moment, the celestial origin was shaken. These powerhouses appeared one after another. Zhang Tao smiled bitterly in his heart. Was this good or bad? Could so many powerhouses be trapped? Most importantly, these powerhouses would eventually discover that it was a trap created by humans. Zhang Tao felt helpless. It would be terrifying when that happened. Seeking life and death, I don't care anymore. Just as Zhang Tao was thinking about this, in the distance, where the celestial origin was exploding, Sage Tian Kui arrived. At this moment, there were still a few heavenly king powerhouses left. They were all looking at the broken passage. Sage Tian Kui took a glance and instantly determined many things. He sighed. "It's broken. The passage was broken. What a pity." After saying that, he looked at King Kun not far away and said indifferently, "King Kun, if you come to my residence to cause trouble again, don't blame me for not considering the favor of the earthly sovereign." King Kun's expression was cold as he said calmly, "What can you do to me?" Tian Kui chuckled and did not say anything else. He reached out and grabbed, directly tearing through the void. A true god powerhouse 1,000 miles away was directly grabbed and exploded. "I can't do anything to you. It's the same even if I kill all your subordinates. Not to mention these people, if Tian Hui and the other two dare to attack, I will kill them all." Tian Kui sneered. Although this powerhouse didn't care about worldly affairs, he was extremely domineering at this moment. "Back then, when the 8 kings were conferred the title, I remember that you weren't one of the 8 kings. The Eastern sovereign once said that I was one of the 8 kings. In the end, you became King Kun in the blink of an eye. What a joke! You dared to be insolent in front of me?" Tian Kui was disdainful. When this old story was said, many looked at King Kun with ridicule. Sage Tian Kui had the strength of a heavenly king back then. However, when he was conferred the title of king, he suddenly became the eldest son of the earthly sovereign. He became the first saint of the 36 saints. Back then, earthly sovereign was still alive, so Tian Kui couldn't be bothered to say anything. In the past few years, King Kun had circled around his residence several times, but Tian Kui didn't want to be meddlesome and ignored him. Now that he saw King Kun, he naturally had to give him a warning. King Kun looked at him coldly. He did not attack nor did he speak. Tian Kui didn't make any more moves either. He was done with the warning. There was no need for them to fight. At this moment, the figure of Heavenly King Subduing appeared. Tian Kui glanced at Heavenly King Subduing and said after a while, "This old man is not one of the 8 kings. Heavenly King Subduing, you go ahead with your Heavenly King, it has nothing to do with this old man. Don't disturb this old man's seclusion." Heavenly King Jin chuckled. "Tian Kui, what do you mean by that? You know it." Saying so, Saint Tian Kui left without bothering with him. As soon as he left, the deranged celestial pole also rushed over. Looking at the broken path, Zhang Xian stepped into the air without any hesitation. Seeing this, Heavenly King Jintian frowned and reached out to grab it. Heaven's Fate turned around and punched. His eyes were bloodshot. "Celestial pole! Heavenly King Jin bellowed. The path has been cut off. Are you courting death? Heaven's Fate looked like he was crying and laughing. He looked at him for a while and said in a bleak tone, You didn't die? You actually didn't die. Even King Jin is dead. I remember you went to snatch his corpse, but you actually didn't get killed. As soon as he said that, many people's auras fluctuated. King Jin was dead? Then who was Heavenly King Jin? Everyone thought that he was King Jin. At least, that was their guess. King Jin was more mysterious, and rarely appeared in the heaven realm. The few times he did, he disappeared in a flash. But now, Heavenly King Jin was actually not King Jin. King Kun looked at Heaven's Fate and said in a deep voice, Heaven's Fate, you know him? No, you participated in that battle? King Kun was suddenly stunned. Heaven's Fate participated in the final battle? Almost none of them participated in the final battle when the heaven realm fell. That was how they managed to survive. Heaven's Fate actually saw it. And Heavenly King Jin also participated? Heaven's Fate glanced at him and said crazily, It's you! You actually didn't die? That's right, you're so timid and cherish your life very much. How could you die? After saying a few words of disdain to King Kun, Heaven's Fate looked at the broken path and laughed bitterly. I can't go! There's an emperor's path beyond the 9 heavens. I want to become an emperor. At this moment, even if Heavenly King Jin and King Kun spoke, he did not reply. He just muttered to himself crazily at the broken path in the void. Everyone sighed. Heaven's Fate, this outstanding prince in the past, had actually gone crazy. Heaven's Fate was like that, Moon Spirit was like that, Unquestionable Sword was like that, even people like King Kun were about to go crazy. It had been close to 10,000 years. Their lifespan was coming to an end, the heaven realm had fallen, and there was no hope for the Emperor's path. Who wouldn't go crazy? They were not the only ones who were crazy. Was Tian Chief crazy? If he wasn't, why would he find trouble with King Kun the moment he arrived? This was a group of people who were in despair and had nowhere to go. Heavenly King Jin looked at these people and did not say anything else. At this moment, everyone had their own thoughts. The immortal source exploded, but the passage was broken. How did the passage appear? Did it appear on its own or was it passive? Was the tomb of heaven here or not? Everyone was still thinking about this, and for a moment they lost interest in the battles in other places. At the same time, Zhang Tao looked at the place that was close to the eruption, and he quickly began to think of the old cat, asking the old cat to open the trap. At this moment, this was the only way to have a chance of survival. But at this time, King Ming and the others had already formed an encirclement. Seeing this scene, the dragon transformation Celestial Emperor was just about to stay behind to cover the retreat. Li Jin, who had been silent, suddenly had a fierce look in his eyes. He suddenly left the team and broke through the air. In front of him, an Emperor Venerable had already rushed over and blocked the way. *CK your grandma. Li Jin, who was extremely cold in front of others, directly cursed at this moment. Not only that, Li Jin, who was originally only an expert close to the Emperor stage, suddenly vomited blood at this moment. In front of him, a great path appeared. It was not considered long, but it exploded in the blink of an eye. Self-detonation of the origin Great Path. A few days ago, Li Jin had walked the second Great Path to 1,000 meters and reached the peak. But at this moment, he directly detonated this new Great Path. The Emperor Venerable blocking the way was from the Grandmaster. He also did not expect that Li Jin would self-detonate the Great Path the moment he arrived. Even if this Great Path was not considered long, at this moment, the explosion at this moment made his origin a little chaotic. Not only that, at this time, a long sword appeared in Li Jin's hand, and its aura was extremely strong. Emperor weapon! Someone exclaimed. Even Emperor stage powerhouses might not have Emperor weapons. They did not expect that the poor human race actually had someone with Emperor weapons. Li Jin shouted. Seeing that the Emperor Venerable was about to counterattack, he roared, "I am the descendant of subduing Heavenly King. Who dares to kill me?" As soon as this was said, the Emperor Venerable, who was about to counterattack, slightly paused. Descendant of subduing Heavenly King? Not everyone knew that Li Jin was the descendant of subduing Heavenly King. Of course, almost everyone in the catacombs knew, but Li Jin had not made much of a move before. He Kwang, subduing Heavenly King, was entangled, and the catacombs and humans were irreconcilable enemies, so why would they care about this? They did not care, but it did not mean that this emperor did not care. Killing humans and killing descendants of subduing Heavenly King, or even descendants close to Emperor stage, were completely different concepts. This Emperor Venerable was a little hesitant, and in the blink of an eye, the Emperor weapon in Li Jin's hand directly exploded. Break through the air! A beam of sword light shone across the sky, instantly slashing down. Poof! With a muffled sound, the Emperor Venerable's shoulder was smashed by this sword, and then the Emperor weapon suddenly exploded. Even an Emperor stage powerhouse would not be willing to waste an Emperor weapon exploding. But Li Jin did it. Not only did he do it, the current Li Jin was extremely cold. With one slash, he cut off the other party's arm, and then the second slash fell. This time, both arms were swords. Both arms instantly exploded, and an extremely intense sword light burst out. Boom! The sea exploded, setting off monstrous waves. "Let's go!" Zhang Tao shouted. Regardless of Li Jin's life or death, he directly ordered Warlord to break through the encirclement. Warlord did not hesitate at this moment. Without saying a word, he quickly bypassed the two of them and rushed forward with his people. Just as Life King and the others were about to break through the air and rush over, at this moment, heaven and earth suddenly trembled. "Divine artifact!" Someone exclaimed, "The aura of a divine artifact." "No, the aura of the heavenly realm. That's the aura of an emperor stage." Someone felt the aura of the 9 Emperor seal, and this time, everyone went crazy. It really had the aura of an emperor stage. They could feel it. As for whether it was alive or dead, they did not care. Even if the emperor stage was really alive, they had to go. Even if they were no match for the emperor stage, they had to know how to break through the Great Path. The Great Path was blocked by an Emperor stage. That Emperor stage must know how to break through the Great Path. At this moment, not only these people were excited. In the distance, an expert shouted, "Heavenly Tomb! 9 Emperor seal! It's really here! It's really here! The ruins of the Heavenly Court!" At this moment, who would not go crazy? Who could hold back? It was too close, right under their noses. Everyone went crazy. Many venerable sovereigns of the human realm upon heavens could not care less at this moment, because the humans were also running in that direction, and these venerable sovereigns were also madly rushing in that direction. As for the venerable sovereign who was entangled by Li Jin, no one had time to care about him, because Li Jin could not kill him. After all, he was a great Emperor stage expert. At the same time, Li Jin was still shouting, "As long as Heavenly King Jin is not dead, who dares to kill me?" This was not the first or second time that the human experts said the words of the villains today. But it had to be said that Heavenly King Jin was still a deterrent. The others were more or less hesitant. Even the Fate Monarch and the others hesitated for a moment at this moment, but they also chased after Zhang Tao and the others. And the venerable sovereign who had been beaten miserably by Li Jin's self-detonation of the Great Path and self-detonation of the Great Emperor stage was also sullen and angry at this moment. What was this? You all left, but what about me? This lunatic was now entangled with him. After all, he was an expert close to the Great Emperor stage. If this went on, he would suffer a great loss. Damn it! The venerable sovereign was furious, but there was nothing he could do. If he had known that this would happen, he would not have stood out. Instead, he had come to block the way. This was troublesome. But at this moment, who had the time to care about them? In the distance, the projection of a portal was reflected in the void. The Emperor's stage aura was extremely strong, and some people even wanted to kneel. The heavenly tomb was really open. In the void, figures appeared one after another, all extremely excited, and madly flew in that direction. Chapter 1006. Where the door was. At this moment, the aura of an emperor rose. In the void, a shadow reflected the world. It was a huge seal. 9 Emperor's Seal! Once the 9 Emperor's Seal appeared, even the turbulent Forbidden Sea began to calm down. Suppress the 3 realms! Someone exclaimed. 9 Emperor's Seal, a divine artifact. It did not have much offensive power, but it was jointly created by the 9 Emperors. It represented the orthodoxy of the 3 realms. 9 Emperor's Seal stabilized the 3 realms. Once this seal appeared, even the Forbidden Sea seemed to be suppressed. At this moment, Skypole laughed wildly and said, 9 Emperor's Seal! 9 Emperor's Seal! Father said that the 9 Emperor's Seal is a treasure that integrates the Tao of the 3 realms. I'm going to become an emperor! Skypole was crazy, but he was extremely powerful. He tore through the air and grabbed at the shadow. The others did not move. This was just a projection of the 9 Emperor's Seal, not the real thing. But since there was a projection, it meant that the 9 Emperor's Seal was really here. The aura of an emperor could not be concealed. At this moment, a small seal appeared beside the Heavenly King's. Heavenly King's Seal. The Heavenly King's Seal was trembling. It was responding to the summons. The 9 Emperor's Seal was a symbol of power. Back then, the Heavenly Court would not use it easily. Once it was used, it would announce to the 3 realms that the Heavenly Kings and Saints would be summoned to the Heavenly Court for a meeting. King Kun's eyes lit up as he scanned the surroundings. He said in a dignified voice, "The Tomb of Heaven appeared for no reason. Was it a coincidence or was it planned by someone?" As the person who led the war between the Earth Emperor God dynasty and the war between the North and the South, his first thought was that someone was secretly stirring up trouble. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence that the Tomb of Heaven and the 9 Emperor's Seal appeared today? At this moment, Moon Spirit suddenly appeared and slashed at him with her sword. King Kun shouted, "Moon Spirit, what are you doing?" The situation was already chaotic, but Moon Spirit was still adding to it. King Kun was extremely annoyed. Moon Spirit ignored him and continued slashing. At this moment, the 3 sect protectors appeared and joined forces to stop Moon Spirit. Seeing this, Moon Spirit screamed, "Hong Kun, how did Hong Yu die?" King Kun frowned and said indifferently, "Back then, a great war broke out in the Heaven Realm. Heaven Arch Shan went crazy and killed his way into the Heaven Courts. Father asked us to retreat and subdue the crazy Heaven Arch with the other uncles. When I left, Hong Yu wasn't in the Heavenly Court. He was in the Earth Palace. Not long after we left, there was another huge battle in the Heaven Realm. The Heaven Realm was destroyed. I don't know what happened to Hong Yu. You dare lie to me." Moon Spirit was getting more and more agitated. "Do you really think this Empress doesn't know anything?" Heaven Arch Shan disappeared not long after he killed his way into the Heavenly Court. There was still some time before the war broke out. How could you not return to the Earth Imperial Palace? Tell me, how did Hong Yu die? Was the person who appeared 2,500 years ago you? Moon Spirit was incomparably berserk. She held a blade in her left hand and a sword in her right. She killed until the 3 sect protectors continuously smashed through the void, creating countless spatial cracks. King Kun did not make a move. He shouted in a low voice, "Enough! Yu Ling, father died, Uncle Bei died, Hong Yu died. I know it's hard for you, but so many years have passed." "Bullshit!" Moon Spirit shouted and used her saber to cut open the protector's mask. Behind the mask was an extremely beautiful woman, revealing her true appearance. At this moment, a streak of blood appeared on the woman's cheek, making her look even more flirtatious. Moon Spirit shouted angrily, Even that B*TCH Tianhui did not die. How could he die? You killed him, it's you. King Kun's face darkened. He said in a low voice, Moon Spirit, if you continue to cause trouble, don't blame me for not remembering our past relationship. You hypocrite, what relationship do you have with me? Moon Spirit was extremely berserk, but she was not completely crazy. She shouted angrily, Heaven's Fate, help me kill him. On the other side, Heaven's Fate's eyes were bloodshot after he failed to grab the 9 Emperor seal. Hearing this, he turned to look at them and mumbled, Kill him? Moon Spirit, kill him? Can I become an emperor after killing him? Sure. Moon Spirit's reply was straightforward. Without another word, she threw a long sword over. Earth's sovereign sword. At this moment, King Kun suddenly reached out to grab the Earth's sovereign sword. Not only him, but King Sun and King Zhen also reached out to grab the sword. Earth's sovereign sword. They did not expect Moon Spirit to throw the Earth's sovereign sword to Heaven's Fate. If they did not snatch it now, when would they be able to? You guys, want to snatch my Dao validation opportunity? At this moment, Heaven's Fate seemed to have sobered up. He suddenly straightened his back, and his messy beard fell off. His messy hair also turned golden, full of luster. At this moment, Heaven's Fate's eyes were no longer dull. He looked around and said sternly, You guys actually want to snatch my opportunity. You deserve to die. You deserve to die. As soon as he said that, he punched the void and turned into thousands of fist shadows. They were not aimed at one person, but 3 heavenly kings. Heaven's Fate, looks like you've really gone mad. King Kun snorted coldly. 1 person against 3 heavenly kings? In the past, Heaven's Fate did not even have the strength of a heavenly king. Even if he had improved over the years, so what? The 4 experts surrounded the Earth's sovereign sword and started fighting each other. It was not just 3 against 1. At this moment, no matter who tried to snatch the Earth's sovereign sword, they would be surrounded by the other 3. King Kun shouted angrily, This is my father's divine weapon. Do you guys want to be enemies with me? This was the Earth's sovereign's divine weapon. Back then, he gave it to Hongyu, and Hongyu gave it to Moon Spirit. All these years, Moon Spirit had been crazy. He did not want to go to Mount Wanwu and ask for trouble. Who knew that Moon Spirit would throw out the Earth's sovereign sword today? If he got the Earth's sovereign sword, his strength would definitely increase greatly. But now, 3 powerhouses were fighting with him. King Kun was not weak. After all these years of scheming, how could he not improve at all? Even if he was fighting 1 against 2 powerhouses, he would only be at a slight disadvantage. But in the current chaotic situation, he could not get the Earth's sovereign sword. On the other side, Moon Spirit also roared repeatedly. Holding the North Emperor saber, she killed the 3 sect protectors until their blood splattered in the void. In the sea. The Forbidden Sea had just calmed down, but now it was turbulent again. Fang Ping and the others hid at the bottom of the sea. Fortunately, they had dug a hole, or they would have been washed away by the sea. Even so, the few of them still felt immense pressure. If not for the Forbidden Sea's energy absorption effect, just the aftershock alone might have killed them. They looked at the mirror. There was also an image on it, but it was not very clear. According to the cat, they were too strong. If they were too close, they would definitely be discovered, so they could only monitor from afar. The cat lay beside the mirror, its fat buttock squeezing so hard that Fang Ping was almost squeezed into the stone wall. Fang Ping was extremely helpless. This cat was too fat. The hole it dug was not big, so he was really helpless. Most importantly, this cat was really heavy. When it was squeezed, he felt like he was going to be squashed to death. Ah, they're fighting! The old cat looked at the mirror happily. Watching a show was its favorite thing to do. As it watched, the cat could not help but comment. King Kun, he's the most powerful. The others are not as powerful as him. Then King Sun, King Zhen, Celestial Polarity, Moon Spirit. Speaking of Moon Spirit, the cat looked up sneakily and whispered. Moon Spirit is a lunatic. Liar, let me tell you a secret. She actually went crazy a long time ago. She went crazy before the heavenly realm was destroyed, that Hong Yu. Hong Yu, right? He's actually hiding from her. He doesn't even dare to go home. How pitiful! Fang Ping was speechless. He looked at it and said, You've learned how to gossip too? Who did this fellow learn it from? But was it for real? Had Moon Spirit gone crazy a long time ago? Wasn't she very affectionate with that prince? It's true. Doggy went to spy on them and saw it. He said that Moon Spirit and Hong Yu were fighting in bed. She couldn't beat Moon Spirit, so she ran away from home. Fang Ping and the other three looked at the cat, dumbfounded. Was this old antique joking with them? What did they do in the past? Why did this cat and Tengu sound more and more like evil demons? The couple was living well at home, and you guys went to spy on them? Do you have any morals? The cat ignored him and said happily, That's why this woman is very fierce. You have to run when you see her. Fang Ping was helpless. He could not be bothered. He looked at Li Zhu's silhouette in the mirror and asked, Do you know him? The cat took a look and muttered, He's too far away. He looks familiar, but I can't remember. At this time, another silhouette appeared in the mirror. It was unquestionable Jian. The cat looked at the mirror and looked up. Although the top was blocked, the cat seemed to see unquestionable Jian. It said sadly, He's really reincarnated. Xiao Jin won't reincarnate. He's not Xiao Jin anymore, reincarnated? Fang Ping was stunned. He asked in a low voice, Did unquestionable Jian really reincarnate? I don't know. The cat was a little disappointed. It said weakly, This is Xi Jian's body. It's not Xiao Jin anymore. There's a different feeling. Someone is controlling Xi Jian's body. Fang Ping's gaze changed instantly. He asked in a low voice, Who's controlling it? His reincarnation, I guess. The gray cat was lazy and became even more disinterested. Xiao Jian would not reincarnate. If he reincarnated, he would not be Xiao Jian anymore. The Xiao Jian that it knew was already dead. Fang Ping frowned. Why did unquestionable Jian want to reincarnate? This was something that he couldn't quite understand. Was his own physique not strong enough? Was his martial arts flawed? Or did he want to embark on a different path? Moreover, he could actually control his previous body. It seemed like this guy came prepared. He was not like old Wang and the rest who resurrected without any preparation. Reincarnation. Could it be that he wants to achieve rank 899's advancement? Fang Ping was a little suspicious. Unquestionable Jian's 9's advancement was already extremely powerful. Could it be that he wanted to become stronger? The cat lay on the ground and muttered, I don't know. Does he want to integrate the physique of 2 lifetimes? Or does he want to try how to resurrect? Integrate the physique of 2 lifetimes? Fang Ping seemed to understand a little at this moment. Could it be that unquestionable Jian wanted to be like Gu Qin, to cultivate the martial arts of this life to the extreme and then integrate both? Could it be that he could become stronger this way? It might not be impossible. There was no time to care about unquestionable Jian. At this moment, more and more powerhouses were rushing over. First, it was the overseas Immortal Islands' venerable emperors, followed by Grand Master's venerable emperors, then Zhang Tao's group, and the catacombs side who were chasing after them. The sky was already in a mess. At this moment, the trap was still erupting with Emperor Aura. The Heavenly King and the other powerhouses were all holding each other back. They had already found the void rift where the door was placed. At this moment, the rift had already been blasted open, revealing an illusory door. The door seemed to be covered by fog, and one could not see clearly. However, the door was half open, and the Emperor Aura was coming from inside. The ancient aura of the heavenly realm, the Emperor Aura, the illusion of the 9 Emperor Seals, and the aura of some divine weapons were all rising. At this moment, everyone's attention was focused on the door. Was it the celestial cemetery? Outside. High up in the sky. Unquestionable Jian seemed to be frowning. It was unknown whether he had noticed the cats spying or discovered the abnormality of the celestial cemetery. When he came back then, the celestial cemetery was not like this. It was much more dangerous than this. At least it felt much more dangerous. In this place, he also felt the ancient aura of the heavenly realm, but the sense of danger did not seem too strong. Moreover, there was no such door at that time. There was no one around the door at this moment. The Heavenly King and the others were holding each other back, guarding the four sides and not letting anyone enter. They were not in a hurry to enter either. It was hard to say whether this place was the celestial cemetery or not. But it was certain that there was a fragment of the heavenly realm here. On King Kun's side, everyone was still fighting, and the void had already cracked. At this moment, even the Emperor-level powerhouses did not dare to go over rashly, lest they get involved. Many Heavenly King powerhouses were fighting, and the weakest were 3 Saint-level powerhouses. These people did not dare to rashly join in. Even if they saw the floating earthly sovereign's sword, no one dared to snatch it. At this moment, Li Zhu, who had not spoken much, looked at Zhang Tao and the others, who were in a sorry state, and said with a smile, "King Wu, this isn't a trap you set up, right?" Zhang Tao looked at him and grinned. "It's a trap I set up. Everyone, please don't go in, it's very dangerous." After saying that, he looked at the powerhouses of the catacombs who had already surrounded them and said with a smile, "At this time, what's the point of fighting? Why don't you let us go in first and explore the way for everyone? After all, we still have to explore the way, lest it is too dangerous and cause losses to everyone. Everyone, at this time, we can no longer fight. Can't you even give us a chance to survive?" Since Li Zhu said that this is my trap, why don't you let me solve it myself? Everyone was indifferent. On the other side, a powerhouse from the 36 Saint-level powerhouses said indifferently, "The 9 Emperor seals are here. If this person really set up a trap, does he need to do this? If he absorbs the Emperor's energy from the 9 Emperor seals, he might be able to advance further in the human sovereign path." Zhang Tao's heart ached when he heard that. Really? Can it be done like this? If I knew this, I wouldn't have thrown the 9 Emperor seals in. I thought it was useless. Senior, can you tell me how to absorb it? Directly absorb it? Then, the source of Tao will be able to spread? The powerhouse who spoke ignored him. At this moment, King Ming was about to make a move, but King Jinwang slapped him. On the other side, King Zhen, who was fighting for the earthly sovereign sword, was unwilling to give up, but he had no choice but to turn around and counterattack. King Jinwang smiled faintly and said, "King Zhen, you don't want to fight for the treasure anymore?" King Zhen remained silent. "Let's end today's matter here. All of you want to fight for the treasure, while we only want to survive. If we continue fighting now, others will benefit from it. Are you willing to do that? King Zhen, even if I don't get the 9 Emperor seals, I will still pester you to death today. King Sun, are you willing to stay outside with me and let King Kun and the others enter to fight for the treasure?" King Sun remained silent. He joined forces with Heaven's Fate to attack King Kun. Should he continue fighting with King Jinwang? He didn't know. The 9 Emperor seals appeared, the Tomb of Heaven appeared. Was it worth it to fight with King Jinwang to the end? What was the point of everyone fighting? To become an emperor. The opportunity to become an emperor was right in front of him. Was he willing to give it up now? Seeing this, King Jinwang laughed and attacked. He forced King Zhen to retreat continuously. The void collapsed and disappeared. Everyone's surroundings had turned into nothingness. Some true god powerhouses were on the verge of collapsing. They couldn't bear the aftermath of the battle between the heavenly kings. At this moment, Li Zhu smiled faintly. "King Jinwang, you don't want to become an emperor? Or do you know that this is a trap?" "It's a trap," King Jinwang said calmly. "I set it up myself. I was the one who placed the 9 Emperor seal into it." Li Zhu sighed. Everyone was going along with his words. It was hard to judge. It was hard to differentiate between the real and the fake. He still felt that this place appeared too coincidentally. At this moment, more and more powerhouses gathered in this place. Even some true god powerhouses who stayed behind to guard the overseas immortal islands had arrived. In the sea, many true god beasts appeared. The big crow that had fought Sang Mao and the water demon emperor also appeared. There were more and more emperor-level powerhouses. There were even more true god powerhouses. Not every true god had the thought of becoming an emperor, but some people had no choice but to come. Since the sect master came, could the elders not come? Since the island master came, could the disciples not come? True god powerhouses were naturally no match for emperor-level powerhouses in a one-on-one fight. But if 5 true gods worked together, ordinary emperor-level powerhouses might not be able to win. For example, on the catacombs side, there might not be many emperor-level powerhouses, but there were close to 100 true kings left. If they didn't deal with humans and just dealt with venerable emperors, it wouldn't be difficult to deal with 7 or 8 emperor-level powerhouses. Emperor-level powerhouses might even die. Previously, Venerable Green Lotus, a rather powerful emperor-level powerhouse, almost died in the hands of 8 true gods. Seeing that these people were starting to show interest in the Tomb of Heaven, King Ming shouted, "Everyone, at this stage, the revived martial artists are no longer able to fight. Should we let the tiger return to the mountain? Even if we want the treasure, we must destroy the land of rebirth first. The treasure is here, it can't run away. With God Land as the main force, everyone just needs to put in a little effort, and we can destroy them. One less person means one less competition. Do we really have to let King Wu enter and take the 9 Emperor Seals to become an Emperor powerhouse?" He didn't know what the 9 Emperor Seals was, but the sage had said that Zhang Tao absorbed the Emperor's energy and might improve further. Zhang Tao, who already had the combat strength of 36 sages, was crippled now. Once he recovered and merged with the 6 Daos, he would become another Heavenly King powerhouse. Zhang Tao could kill Chang Rong previously. Once he recovered and his combat strength increased, he might even be able to kill a Heavenly King. When that time came, even dozens of ordinary Emperor-level powerhouses could do anything to him, much less a few. Zhang Tao sighed. "Do you really want me to die?" "King Ming, humans aren't strong. Only Heavenly King Jinwang and I are strong. If I die, there won't be a problem anymore, right?" King Ming said coldly. "Then you can die." "But I don't want to die," Zhang Tao said playfully. "How about this, you and I fight one-on-one? You kill me or I kill you. That way, everyone will have one less opponent. If I die in your hands, it will be my fate. Everyone, why don't you let me and King Ming have a go?" King Ming didn't back down this time. He took a step forward and said indifferently, "Since you suggested it, let's fight." He wasn't afraid of King Wu at this moment. Could he really fight again? If he could, he would have done it earlier. Why wait until now? If he didn't even dare to face such a weak King Wu, how could he achieve Dao? He stepped forward, but Zhang Tao wasn't willing. He said with a smile, "Forget it, I have the strength of a sage. You, a fake emperor, are not qualified. Li Jin, go and kill him." At this moment, Li Jin dragged his injured body and rushed over. Behind him, the Emperor Zun, who was intercepted by him, was also injured. He looked at everyone angrily. Hearing Zhang Tao's words, Li Jin charged at King Ming without hesitation. Ming Wang's face was ashen. In front of the powerhouses of various forces, the martial king had gone back on his word. Was such a despicable person fit to be the leader of the land of rebirth? The shame of a true king was still the same as before. As for Li Jin's attack, Ming Wang did not hesitate either. He was afraid of Heavenly King Jin, but he wouldn't hesitate to kill Li Jin just because he was a descendant of Heavenly King Jin. The catacombs and humans had long since become mortal enemies. In the blink of an eye, Fate King attacked, clashing with Li Jin, causing Li Jin to bleed profusely. At this moment, chaotic battles broke out in all directions. Under the sea. Above them, a giant water buffalo fell into the water. Water power! The bull did not stand in the air, instead, it fell into the taboo sea. The gray cat was eager to make a move. It wanted to cut off its own flesh. Water's meat. It roasted a few pieces, and they tasted really good. Last time, he had harvested so much that the ash cat might not have enough to eat. This time, he had gone in with the water power. Who knew if he would be able to come out? If he missed this opportunity, he might not get another one. At this moment, Fang Ping was clutching the cat's tail tightly. He almost died of anger. Since when were you thinking about food at this time? The cat turned around and looked at him, feeling wrong. I'm only responsible for eating, drinking, and sleeping. This is my job. Everything else is secondary. Fang Ping gritted his teeth and said telepathically, Wait a minute! I want to kill the Life King. Do you think there's hope? As he said that, he added, I've been to Qi Huanyu's Tao of Origin. If the Life King continues his Tao, maybe I can sneak into the path that belongs to Qi Huanyu without a trace. When that time comes, can I kill the Life King directly? Among the powerhouses of the catacombs, Fang Ping hated the Life King the most. This time, the Life King was in charge of all parties, forcing all the true kings of the catacombs to gather. He was also the main force in the battle against Zhang Tao. The cooperation with the Divine Sect, including the cooperation with the extraterritorial Immortal Island and the Outland, were all related to the Life King. This fellow had been very active these few years, roping in many people. If it were not for the Life King's insistence to fight, with so many true kings dead, perhaps the catacombs would have collapsed long ago. They would not have maintained such a strong combat strength until now, when almost half of them were dead or injured. Moreover, the Life King also dared to fight. He took the lead, leading a few venerable emperors to entangle the strongest Zhang Tao. Otherwise, the other true kings were afraid of death. Wherever Zhang Tao went, the place would collapse. Kill him? The cat took a look at the mirror and muttered softly, Why don't we poke the big water buffalo to death? There'll be meat to eat if we poke the big water buffalo to death. Poke that fellow to death, he can't be eaten. Fang Ping's face was dark. He ravaged its head madly. I'll let you eat, I'll let you eat. This cat was crazy. At a time like this, you're only thinking about food. Will you starve to death if you don't eat? The cat felt even more wronged. Eating and sleeping were the main things to begin with. Li Hansong and the other two were mentally exhausted. This man and cat, could they not be more reliable? Any random person outside was stronger than them. At a time like this, they were still making a fuss here. Were they not afraid of death? The cat's head was swollen from Fang Ping's rubbing. It said helplessly, All right, then I'll poke that Life King to death. Can I poke it to death? How would I know? The cat rolled its eyes and said, Poke water to death, that's food. I can help you. But poke that Life King to death, that won't do. I don't kill, I don't fight. In other words, if it could eat, it could kill. This was its instinct. It did not have the concept of killing. However, killing, it had this concept. Once it killed, the black swamp would become bigger. The cat would not do it. If it did not do it, Fang Ping would not force it either. Fang Ping was afraid too. He was afraid that the cat's black swamp would become bigger. If this cat really lost its nature, then it would be big trouble. A cat that did not like to fight did not mean that it could not fight. This fellow had a divine weapon in hand. It probably had the strength of an emperor level. The key was that the cat's strength did not come from its own strength. It had allies. Not only that, this cat knew too much and had too many secrets. It even knew where the real heavenly grave was. Moreover, it did not exist to block the door. If it really went crazy, it might even become an emperor. Fang Ping dared not gamble. When that time came, the cat would still let humans go. In the three realms, in terms of danger, the darkened cat was probably the most dangerous. Ignoring the cat, Fan Ping looked at the other three and took a deep breath. Let's combine and work together. Let's try to break into Life King's Tao. If we kill him, the catacombs might collapse. Although King Zhen was the Life King's supporter, it did not mean that the true kings of the catacombs would listen to him. Even if King Zhen was stronger than Life King, Li Hansong was surprised. Then we won't kill the other true kings? He was prepared to wait for them to get close to the door and kill the other true kings together. Stop talking nonsense. It's not the first time I overturned the plan. Fan Ping said it as a matter of fact. Wang Jinong felt a headache coming on. If we don't kill outside the door, once Life King dies, we will be exposed. Do we have a way out? Whether Life King died or not, they would be exposed. Fan Ping looked at him and said in disappointment, You are still thinking about yourself at this time. Old Wang, you have disappointed me. Wang Jinong was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He gritted his teeth. Idiot! It's fine if we are exposed, but what about the door above? Once they knew that Fan Ping and the others were hiding here, it would be hard to say. Fan Ping gritted his teeth. Then we can only kill Life King. This way, even if someone suspects us, they might not suspect us. We don't have the ability to kill Life King. After saying that, Fan Ping made up his mind. Life King must die. Otherwise, humans might not be able to enter. We might be killed in advance. The few of them looked at each other and nodded solemnly. Since Fan Ping had made up his mind, they would do it. They must kill Life King. Chapter 1007. In the sky above the Forbidden Sea. Sui Meng Shaoan said. King Ning's spear made Li Jin bleed. On the other side, King Zhen held Heavenly King Jin back. Although he wasn't Heavenly King Jin's match, he wasn't defeated in one strike. At this moment, Heavenly King Jin was still calm. He looked at King Ning and said, If Li Jin dies, the Ji family will die with him. It was just a few simple words. He wasn't hysterical at all. He was just stating the truth. If Li Jin died, King Ning's entire family would die with him. At this moment, even King Zhen didn't say anything. Could he kill Heavenly King Jin? No. Not only him, even two Heavenly Kings working together might not be able to kill a Heavenly King, much less someone like Heavenly King Jin. Unless there were 3 or 4 Heavenly Kings working together to block Heavenly King Jin's path, there was no hope of killing him. Or if there were more sages, there would be hope. King Ning's expression was ugly. He had always been the one threatening others. He didn't expect that he would be the one being threatened today. Overlord? So what if he was an overlord? In the past, he didn't know how powerful Heavenly King Jin was and thought that he could fight him. But today, these sages and Heavenly Kings all appeared. At this moment, King Ning knew the difference between them. Even if he had the strength of an emperor, it would be extremely easy for the subduing Heavenly King to kill him if there was no one to help him. This spear pierced through Li Jin's chest and nailed him in the air. Li Jin, who was already heavily injured, wasn't his match. He continued Qi Huanyi's great Tao but didn't merge it. Instead, he extended it out. His great Tao broke through 10,000 meters and he truly had overlord strength. Li Jin, the near emperor, was heavily injured, so he was naturally no match for him. Seeing Li Jin pinned in the air, King Ning didn't care about him anymore. He was more or less fearful. But he didn't stop there. King Ning said coldly, Heavenly King Jin, if Li Jin and Zhang Tao don't die, ask the experts of the 3 realms, who will agree? Li Jin wasn't even an overlord, and he self-destructed his second great Tao. If he didn't die, he wouldn't be a threat. If Zhang Tao didn't die, this human king would be too much of a threat. As soon as he said that, although no one said anything, at this moment many experts' auras surged. Heavenly Emperor Pingyu, Lord Luofu Mountain, Lord Huatong Mountain, none of these experts agreed. High up in the sky, Li Zhu also chuckled. King Wu, don't go. Heavenly King Jin, are you really going to sacrifice the entire human realm for King Wu? On the other side, even though King Sun and King Kun were fighting over the divine weapons, the two of them said in unison, King Wu can't escape. The experts who had just arrived glanced at Zhang Tao in astonishment. Saint Tiankui looked at the heavily injured Zhang Tao and suddenly smiled, shaking his head and sighing. A sovereign of a generation, what a pity! The sovereign personage of this generation was really too strong. There had been sovereign personages before. The emperors of the feudal era were all considered human kings. However, for thousands of years in the human realm, there had never been anyone more terrifying than this generation's king. Heroes are bound to emerge in chaos. Chaos was about to arrive, and only then did the martial king appear. Now, the martial king had committed crimes everywhere, and all the experts wanted to kill him. Even the subduing heavenly king could not protect him. Dragon Emperor North Sea! Do you really want to be buried with King Wu? In all directions there were powerhouses who shouted in low voices. The Dragon Emperor glanced at the silent Zhang Tao and was just about to speak when Zhang Tao smiled lightly and said, Seniors, now that things have come to this, it's already enough. Seniors, you can leave in peace. Sigh. Gong Zhanzi sighed. At this moment, if he continued to stand on the human side, it would probably really be a dead end. Even so, Gong Zhanzi still looked at the person who spoke and said with a snicker, Even if this seat doesn't leave, what can you do? A mere 7 lights heaven also has the qualifications to threaten this seat. 22 beyond heavens, apart from the 4 Brahmas, the other lords of the beyond heavens were not as powerful as him. He was not afraid at all. At this time, Heavenly Emperor Pingyu said coolly, North Sea, must you wade into these muddy waters? Gong Zhanzi said coolly, Do you think this seat is afraid of you? Pingyu, don't come and threaten me. Others are wary of you, but this seat isn't. This seat is all alone. Don't force me to learn dragon transformation and block your Pingyu heaven. Heavenly Emperor Pingyu gave him a glance, smiled, and did not say a word. North Sea was also considered a lunatic. Or rather, when one's mental strength was cultivated to the extreme, it was the other way around. One's brain was not very good. It was said that during the North-South War back then, North Sea did not even know the purpose of the war between the emperors and participated in the war muddle-headedly, implicating the entire Kwokang Mountain army to be wiped out. Such a person was all alone now. Heavenly Emperor Pingyu did not want to get entangled with him either. But even so, if North Sea continued to participate in the war, he would probably be one of those who died today. At this moment, Fate King took the lead, Heavenly Demon King, Myriad Demon King, and the remaining 90 over Catacombs true monarchs all took a step forward, slowly approaching the human side. In the void, Li-Jin struggled frantically, roaring, Come at me! Come on! Trash, Jiming, you're a cuckold, you're not fit to kill the king of the human race. Do you have the qualifications? You're not. Li-Jin, who usually did not speak much, was hysterical today, cursing loudly. You, Fate King, are not fit to kill the king of the human race. Falling in the hands of Fate King, non-humans were not strong, it was just a general trend, all sides were pressuring the humans. Fate King was indifferent, ignoring him. Looking at Zhang Tao who was protected in the crowd, he said lightly, King Wu, now that things have come to this, do you still want to struggle? You kill yourself, I promise you, the others will not die. Once he said this, the surroundings were slightly shaken, secretly praising him for being powerful. Now, the humans were going to fight to the death. Until now, there were more than 40 human paragons, including King Hua and the others. If they really fought to the death, the catacombs would probably suffer heavy losses. But if King Wu died, the people's hearts would scatter, King Hua and the others would escape, the Dragon Emperor and the others would probably leave too. At that time, there would be only about 0 human paragons left. Other than War King and Emperor-level combat power, what else did the humans have to struggle? Heavenly King subduing. Heavenly King subduing was too strong. And because he was too strong, he became a hindrance. Many heavenly kings had their eyes on him. In this era, there was no need for one to stand out. If everyone's strength was similar, then the others could be tolerated. Heavenly kings subduing might be the number one person in the three realms now, if he did not die. Who knew if it would benefit heavenly kings subduing in the future when the opportunity appeared? Kill yourself? War King heard this and laughed fiercely. There are only humans who die in battle, there are no humans who kill themselves. Ji Ming, who do you think you are? Today, I killed nearly 100 of your catacombs true kings. How dare you say that? I want to see if you, a pseudo-emperor level, have the right to stand in the three realms after killing dozens of your true kings. These words also poked Life King's sore spot. His combat power was not even at saint level. He was now considered the leader of the catacombs. Those true kings of the catacombs had been roped in over the years. Even if they did not submit to him, they more or less knew to stick together. Especially today, powerhouses appeared frequently. At this time, the catacombs could only be a powerful force by sticking together. Therefore, at this time, the true kings of the catacombs did not panic, nor did they disperse. But if these true kings died, could the catacombs still maintain their current situation? Could such a huge land be ruled by the catacombs again? The two emperor-level Heavenly Demon King and Myriad Demon King looked at Life King. Life King was still cold, he said slowly. War King, do you really want to court death? Without all of you, the land of rebirth can only be trampled on. Now I only want to kill King Wu. You can still return to the land of rebirth. With the suppressing Heavenly King around, the land of rebirth can't be destroyed. Must you destroy the land of rebirth for your own selfishness, for King Wu? I didn't know you could talk so much. War King laughed and said, at the end of the day, you're still afraid. Useless. If you don't dare to fight, come on, try to kill us. Life King looked at him coldly, looked around, and said slowly, everyone, the divine land has contributed greatly this time. In order to eliminate the martial artists of the land of rebirth, more than half of the true kings died in battle. At this stage, do you still want to continue watching? From the beginning to the end, I have given it my all. Do you want to wait until King Wu becomes a heavenly king powerhouse to regret? In less than 100 years, a heavenly king is born. Are you really not afraid that the appearance of an emperor in the future will only benefit this person? When that time comes, how many of you will survive? His sonorous and forceful voice caused the hearts of the surrounding experts to fluctuate. Soon, Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu stood up. Not only him, but the three true god powerhouses of Ping Yu Heaven also stood up. At this stage, if they still hesitated, they would really be in big trouble. If Life King didn't dare to fight to the death, who would kill the human powerhouses? Even though the venerable emperors didn't come forward, they all took a step forward to show their support. John Tao looked at Life King and said with a smile, Life King, I really underestimated you. I always thought you were an idiot, but now it seems like you're slightly better than an idiot. Life King ignored him and looked at the human side again. Then, he looked at the suppressing Heavenly King and said slowly, Suppressing Heavenly King, if King Wu doesn't die, this battle will not end. He was forcing the Heavenly King to abdicate. He was even more willing to see Zhang Tao commit suicide. If a human king was defeated and committed suicide, such a blow would be extremely huge. He didn't want to see a human king die fighting for his life. This might stimulate the bloodthirst of humans. Suppressing Heavenly King! It's time to make a decision! At this moment, King Zhen also shouted loudly. At the same time, King Kun and King Sun shouted. Suppressing Heavenly King, the tomb of heaven is out. If you hesitate any longer, don't blame us for joining forces to kill you and destroy the human race. The few powerhouses glared at him fiercely. Suppressing Heavenly King looked around and said softly, Why bother? The human race might not be the key to opening the Emperor's path. Today, we forced the human race here. If the human race isn't the key in the future, he still has to die. King Zhen said indifferently. The human king is tyrannical. If this person doesn't die, heaven and earth will not tolerate it. Zhang Tao was too terrifying. Even the heavenly kings were afraid of him. In less than 100 years, he would soon reach the heavenly king stage. If he was given more time, wouldn't he be able to reach the celestial emperor stage? Or even the supreme venerable emperor stage? By then, who would be able to stop him? Heaven and earth will not tolerate it. Suppressing heavenly king sneered but didn't say anything else. They were all forcing him to abdicate. They were all forcing him and Zhang Tao to make a choice. Would all of them die in battle or would King Wu die? Meow. In the water, the cat cried innocently. Fan Ping pinched its tail tightly. It was a little painful. Why did the liar use so much strength? Fan Ping looked at the mirror and the powerhouses who were forcing the human race. He clenched his teeth. Wait. If I become a supreme venerable emperor, I'll kill all of them. After saying that, he let go of the cat's tail and looked at the broken stone tablet in his hand. He stared at the Life King in the mirror for a while and said in a low voice, Big Cat, collect the Life King's aura. The Life King was here and his aura was overflowing. It was too easy to collect his aura. The cat didn't say anything. It waved its claws and fiddled with it. Soon, it sent a ball of gas into the stone tablet. You just need to bring this into the source world. Then think of the Life King and you can go in. The cat said, but Fang Ping said, No, old Wang and the others can't enter my source world. Big Cat, I'll have to trouble you again. Use your cat world as a transfer point. We'll go in from there. The cat looked at him with an innocent and helpless expression. Was the liar so smart? How did he know that it was better for me to go in? But if I go in my cat world, if the Life King didn't die, he might find me. He might think that I'm going to poke him to death and take the blame. Then, all right then. The cat said in a wrong tone. But if I go in your cat world, I'll consume my origin energy. It's worth at least one divine weapon. Fan Ping scolded in a low voice. What's wrong with you? What do we do now? Do we have to charge for such a small thing? Are you only interested in money? Little Chubby Face said it. The cat said innocently. Little Chubby Face said it. I have to charge for doing things. It's only right and proper. I have to pay for working. She brushed my fur, so I have to pay her too. Fan Ping almost vomited blood. Round face, this girl. What did she teach the cat? All right. Then it'll be 60 divine weapons. Fan Ping was too lazy to care. Say whatever you want. I'll give you one and you'll be good. There was no time to waste. Fan Ping looked at the other three and said in a low voice, I don't know if the source can be fused. Among the few of us, even I only have the strength of a true god. However, the Life King is an emperor-level powerhouse. If we can't beat the Life King in the Origin Tao, our origin might be destroyed and we'll become the living dead. Ironhead chuckled. All right, we know. Don't worry, it'll be fine. It's not a battle in reality. The origin still depends on willpower. Is the Life King as strong as us? Willpower. Fang Ping shook his head. The origin did not just look at these. It also looked at the length of the origin Tao and the strength of mentality. These things were combined to determine the strength of the avatars in the source world. He did not say anything else. If the cat was unwilling to make a move, then they could only do it. Old Wang and the rest had divine weapons. If they fought in the source world, they could directly destroy the other party's origin Tao. This was also a very important point. In the next moment, they entered the bright and sunny cat world. Upon entering this place, the cat began to gorge itself again. Fang Ping could not be bothered with it. He placed the stone monument in the center, looked at everyone, and said quickly, I'll try to simulate the aura. I don't know if the origin can be simulated. If it can, the four of us will fuse together, and will be extremely powerful. The origin won't be weaker than a top-level true god. If it can't, then we'll act separately. When the time comes, I'll resist the Life King, and you guys destroy the Origin Dao. Okay. They responded one after another. Fan Ping tried to use the system here and realized that it could still be used. When he used the system, the cat that was eating crazily turned its head to take a look and mumbled. Then, it glanced at Fan Ping somewhat sneakily. When Fan Ping was not paying attention, an invisible aura overflowed and was expanding the cat world. It was a very weak change. Fan Ping did not feel anything. He only noticed that his wealth was decreasing at a frightening rate. At least 50 million points a minute! Fan Ping's teeth were aching. What was going on? 3 people simulated their auras. Logically, 10,000 points a minute should be enough. They had not even entered the Life King's Origin Dao yet. But now, 50 million points a minute! That meant that in 2 hours, his 8 billion wealth would be depleted. What a joke! Fan Ping bared his teeth in a grimace. The cat gobbled down the food in a frenzy, not uttering a single word. In its heart, however, it was muttering. He wanted to come, but I didn't ask him to. He insisted on giving it to me, but I didn't want it. Yes, I didn't steal it. I came here on my own. Oh right, I can make more fish monsters now. The cat's big eyes narrowed into slits. Happy. I can stock up on fish monsters now. I can make a lot of them. I can eat them for a long time. How blissful. The cat was overjoyed. It did not care that the 4 people next to it had now merged into a monster that did not look like anything. It did not care about this. Seeing that Fan Ping and the others were about to leave, the stone monument was glowing. The cat suddenly screamed. It could not leave. If it left, it would not have time to make it. In the next moment, the cat hurriedly sped up. The space trembled slightly. Fan Ping's illusory figure seemed to sense something. He looked at the cat and frowned. Big cat, what's going on with your cat world? It seems like it was absorbing something from him. He could feel a suction force. Huh! The cat's eyes widened. Then it said hurriedly, Let's go. The passageway is open. Fan Ping did not have time to ask any more. His figure disappeared in a flash. In the sky above the cat world, a dark passageway opened, as if it was connected to somewhere. After he disappeared, the cat panted heavily and muttered, I didn't steal it. I opened the passageway. Whatever is consumed has nothing to do with me. In the next moment, the cat suddenly rolled around on the ground. Its fat body rolled wildly on the big lawn. There was even a burst of childlike snickering. At the same time, in the cat world, a large number of fish monsters appeared out of thin air. The cat's mouth was wide open. Its fat face was already swollen from laughing. I'm so happy, so happy! I have food now! In the past, it had to save its food. At this moment, the cat did not care. 1 bite at a time, 1 bite at a time. In the blink of an eye, it had eaten more than 100. Its paws touched its belly, and it rolled around happily again. It was happy. However, Fan Ping did not have time to look at the system panel. Just a moment ago, 1 billion wealth points disappeared. He did not see it. He saw it. Fan Ping could probably kill the cat. This cat was too black-hearted. At this moment, Fan Ping, together with Old Wang and the rest, was rapidly passing through a black passageway. Fan Ping seemed to be traveling through time and space. This was the first time he was traveling through the source world with some consciousness. This place was like the starry sky of the universe. A person's source world was like a planet. It was very difficult to travel from one planet to another. However, at this time, the stone tablet opened a teleportation passageway for him. At the end, it should be the Life King's source world or the Origin Dao. On both sides of the passageway, Fan Ping seemed to see some other planets. Those might be other people's source worlds. This was Fan Ping's first time experiencing such a world. A magical scene. He saw all kinds of planets. Some were big and some were small. Some were very, very big, like the sun. Some were very, very small, like glass balls. The source world! At this moment, old Wang and the other two were also conscious. They were all amazed. It turned out that such a world really existed. An illusory world might not be fake. Otherwise, how could there be a space battlefield today? At this moment, Li Hansong suddenly said, "Look, the world in front is so big." At this moment, Fan Ping and the rest looked toward a world that was like a scorching sun. There seemed to be a Buddha overseeing this world. The previous world was very far away from the passageway. They could not see it clearly. However, this one was almost at the edge of the passageway. Fan Ping glanced at it. In the next moment, his expression changed slightly. At the same time, the Buddha overseeing this world seemed to have sensed them. Almost instantly, the world dimmed and the Buddha disappeared. Fan Ping's gaze was strange. He asked quickly, "Did you see it clearly?" "It's a little, not too clear," Li Hansong replied. Fan Ping said in a low voice, "I saw it a little clearly." "Interesting. Really interesting. The source world is the true projection. Here, nothing can be hidden. I'm afraid the owner of a world like this will not be weak." "I'm not sure." It was also their first time seeing it. How could they know how strong the owner of such a big world was? Soon, however, they had a rough idea. At this moment, a huge planet appeared in front of them. It gave them a feeling that it was very, very big. However, it was a little dim, a little dull. Compared to the scorching sun earlier, it was much smaller. On the planet, there was also an illusory projection. It was very illusory, but they could see that it looked a little like the Life King. At this moment, this illusory projection was sitting on the planet with its eyes closed, motionless. Unlike the Buddha earlier, which could actually sense the passageway's location, Fan Ping and the others appeared at the edge of the planet in an instant. Like an eggshell, there was a thin film surrounding the planet. At this moment, Fan Ping had some understanding of how to break into someone else's origin Dao. Breaking this thin film would allow one to enter. Powerhouses could sense it. When they broke through, there would be a huge movement. The Life King's projection was sitting here. If ordinary powerhouses wanted to break through, they would wake him up instantly. Just like the first time Fan Ping broke into old Zhang's origin Dao, old Zhang reacted almost instantly and kicked him away. The stone monument only helped them open up a passageway. It was not responsible for breaking the thin film. Maybe it could have been done in the past. However, the broken stone monument now obviously could not. Otherwise, the cat would not have poked it for a long time previously. It was only when Zhang Tao cooperated with the outside that the thin film was broken and the message was delivered. Fan Ping looked at the thin film, then at the Life King's illusory projection. After some thought, he looked at the system again. At this glance, Fan Ping's face turned green. However, he did not think of the cat for a while. He thought that opening the passageway just now had consumed so much. A full 1 billion points. What a joke! Usually, when he broke into other people's Dao, it would cost at most 100 million, at least 10 million. Where did it come from? He had not broken through to the origin Dao yet. *MN, it's so expensive! Fan Ping was shocked. Could it be that the Life King was this powerful? If that was the case, was that scorching sun just now not 10 times or 100 times more powerful? Fan Ping did not care about this. He quickly used the origin analysis function. At this moment, Fan Ping saw the scene clearly. The thin film was slowly melting. Very soon, a hole the size of a person was broken open. On the planet, the closed eyes of the gigantic illusory projection seemed to move. However, this time, Fan Ping cooperated with both sides. The stone monument opened the way while the system broke the door. The movement was much smaller. The illusory projection's eyes trembled. Fan Ping had already entered quickly. In the blink of an eye, the thin film closed. The illusory projection no longer trembled. Obviously, it did not notice that it had been invaded. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.